welcome to Table Party Christmas 2021. We are playing Threadbare. And okay, and we are I'm gonna go into more like world building and history stuff after we get all of the kinks worked out that we want to get worked out. Not kinks, but that can come into play later if you'd like.
I wasn't thinking it until you said it.
Well, that's on me then, isn't it?
I was thinking it and then you said it.
Right, exactly. All right, this is my first time hosting a TTRPG, so thanks everybody in advance for being gentle. So getting into the technicalities, a little bit of Threadbare, we as a group prior to coming together decided to play on Scruffy. There are 3 different levels of gameplay and tone for the story. Fluffy is like very much G-rated. Scruffy's a little bit darker, but Dented is like full out fucked up, so we're not playing Dented. We're playing Scruffy, so you might get a little bit of violence here and there, but we're going to try to keep it light. So,
PG-13.
Exactly, yes. All right, so where does everybody feel comfortable starting the conversation? Do we want to talk a little bit about each of our characters and then see if there's anything that we come across that we want to work out technically?
I think characters are a good way to start.
All right.
Sure.
All right, well, Misch is first on my list here, so Misch, if you want to start.
Sure. All right, so my character is Misch. Misch is a softie with the subcategory of Carnival Prize. Misch was put together basically from a bunch of discarded Carnival Prize parts that were just torn off, left behind, caught in machinery, whatever you want. So Misch is a mishmash, hence the name, of a bunch of different stuffed animal types. So he's got bird legs, gorilla arms, a beluga whale tail, a tiger body, a wolf head, elephant tusks, and butterfly antenna.
A single antenna?
No, antennae.
Oh, sorry. No, that's okay. It would be funny
yeah.
if it was just like one single antenna.
It would be, yeah.
But all right, no, we got both antenna. Cool. So it sounds like Misch is thick.
Yeah, pretty thick.
Right.
Very, very stuffy. Even like the insides is like a mix of like fluff and pellets.
Okay.
The forbidden persona.
Just because of all the different types of parts that he came from.
Okay. And now, just for clarity's sake, are we treating Misch as if this was their intended form and they are like brand new out of the box? This kind of like they're pretty pristine, all things considered.
Pretty.
Okay, I mean, no, they can have like a scuff or a stain here or there. They're not like new. Like they're not like have been stitched together over time because you're like a brawler and you keep losing parts. Like this is pretty much your intended form.
Right. Yeah. So like other Carnival employees, I guess, put Misch together in this way.
Okay. And so
when Misch came to be, this is what he looked like.
And was Misch's intention to be a Carnival Prize, even as like, or was this just like some sort of joke among the Carnival people?
I think it was just some sort of joke.
Okay. But so you are a singular Misch. There is no one quite like you.
Yeah. Nope. I'm the only one.
Great. All right. Only one Misch. Fantastic. And I see that you have your stats assigned. Great. Yep. And your move is Carnival Prize. Cool. So then next on my list is Sal.
Sal's a wise guy, see? He's a mafia puppet that before the awakening, he was used in comedy shows and stage plays. But now he calls all the shots. He pulls the strings, so to speak. He's a wooden puppet in a tuxedo with a wooden Tommy gun. And he talks a tough talk, and the rest is to be seen.
Just real quick, is this Anthony's first table party episode? Ever?
I think it is.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he was listed as Narcisse Blanc, so what was that from?
Might have been from
him being weird.
No.
That was the D&D game that I ran for you guys.
That's
where you were all captured.
Oh, but it wasn't a recorded thing that we did.
No, it was not recorded.
Okay. Because I like because he's weird.
Yes, but
But this is Anthony, everyone, for those
All right,
for
well,
anyone
so
who just
Anthony,
listens to this one.
Anthony of the Gaming Coop and episode 3 of Over Heaven.
Yes.
There you go.
Hello.
You remembered.
Also, aka
even
Dusty
realize-
Bronco.
I didn't even realize that he's not in table 3.
Yeah. Also the owner of the Weatherford Sheriffs and the Provo Rock Squirrels.
Yes.
Right. Yes. Well, we don't talk about VBBFL here because I'm bitter. So,
That's okay.
no, I'm just kidding. Not really. No, just kidding. Not really.
Can't tell anymore.
Not really. Just kidding. But so we're not really gonna go. Just kidding. To
Oh my god.
No, I'm just kidding. Not really. So we're gonna. Sal, is that all you wanted to say?
Yeah, that's it. Thank
Okay.
you, Chris.
Just a question. I don't know if you answered me when I was asking clarifyingly. Sal, we're not going to refer to the reference photos because they have Walsh seeing nightmares.
No. It was... No, honestly, it was just... I was trying to eat before we were recording, and it was just the idea of this old, like, wooden puppet on strings, like, looking
Gross.
so, like... Yeah, just gross. And I couldn't eat with it. And I was like, can we please just hide that for a moment?
Are you sure it wasn't the chicken? Or was
You
your
eat it,
you were eating
so-
your own chicken?
I was, eating your own chicken sounds like something on Urban Dictionary.
Oh my god.
But... What?
No, Anthony just posted another photo. Where are you getting this?
I don't know, but it is just these photos, and like the best way that I can describe them is a caricature of an old mafia man, but with like very human-looking features.
Yeah, it's like
It's-
too human-like.
Yeah,
All right,
it's
stop with
actually-
the chicken parm.
Alright. If it's actually
For
disturbing
the audience-
anybody, I'll get rid of it.
Okay,
for
well,
the audience, Anthony's also sharing it with captions like "Put the chicken parm in the bag." See?
all right. I'm reclaiming this for a second. So is this Sal? Like, this is exactly what you mean? This is exactly what we're going with?
Yeah, this is Sal.
So he's permanently holding the Tommy gun in his right hand.
So just imagine that it's like held and can be removed.
Okay, that's what I needed to know. Thank you. All right, take it down now, please.
Okay. 2 hops this time.
Stop. Jesus Christ. All right. So we're going to talk more about Sal later. All right. So next we have the Aqua-Marines.
The Aqua-Marines, it is part of the SOC playbook. More specifically, it is the finger puppets. So it is a bunch of little guys, but a bunch of little socks, as they are referred to. And they are all ocean-themed. So there are 5 of them. One of them is this big copper-headed scuba diver, you know, like the Cyclops from the SpongeBob movie. Their name is Taylor. You have a shark named Bobby, a dolphin named Flipper, a seahorse named Seabiscuit, and a octopus. Oh, the name got cut off. And a octopus. Matt, you can cut this out, right? Yeah, that's good. Don't worry.
It's Polly on my playbook, but you had some sort of long name that you previously had mentioned.
Oh, you know what? I actually remembered off the top of my head. It was Oswald Henry Paul. Named after the 3 most... I mean, all of these names are incredibly nuanced, and it contain multiple references, but the octopus one was named after the 3 most famous octopuses I can think of.
Oswald being the primary. Famous.
Oswald from that, Henry being the octopus from the Wiggles, and Paul being the real-life German octopus that was known for being able to predict national soccer games.
Wow.
Huh.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful.
So did you
Sorry,
put?
that was...
Hi, I'm
Yeah.
Paul.
Sorry, so
Here's a
yeah,
monkey.
they are 5 little, like, cotton finger puppets, and they very much like to learn about the world around them, talk about sea life, and just experience life. I want to say there was probably more of them, probably like 10, but over time, you know, different finger puppets have settled down in different places, most likely, things like that. And yeah, that's the Aqua-Marines.
All right, and now I see in your reference photos that you provided, I get the aquatic themed and I see the scuba diver, but then I see that you included some like knit, like cable knit type of finger puppets. Is that the texture that they are? So they're like
Yeah.
knit together with thread?
Yeah, that's the way that I imagine them.
Great. That's perfect. Just looking for making sure that we're fully aware. Great. So there is possible threat of unraveling then.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Good to know. Cool. So are we referring, would you like the octopus to be referred to as Polly, or are we referring to him as Oswald Henry Paul?
Oswald Henry Paul, please.
Okay. All right.
Polly was his father.
I understand. All right. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right.
But yeah, and referring to any of them, they are they them. Just to make it
Yes.
easy.
Yes. They. Yes. I will do my best. Cool. All right. So then we are at Thunder.
Hi, I'm Thunder.
Hi, Thunder.
So I am a
Alcoholic.
my type. Yeah, I'm an alcoholic. No, my type is mecha. I'm in the form of Vroom, which Vroom is on a 6. Are we saying moves?
Yeah, go ahead. You can.
Yeah, on a 6. What's 6 minus in the book? Like, what is that? Was it like just 6 or less? I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, if you roll
Because that's
Yeah.
like a failure, essentially.
Okay.
If you roll a 7 to 9, it's a partial success.
Monster of the Week rules.
Yeah, exactly.
I see. Okay, so on a 6 or less, damage 1 part and gain 1 hold that you can use to notice something that was overlooked in others' hastes. So just the ability to be able to actually see things that, while in fast motion, that others wouldn't, I guess. So I am a decked out Volkswagen Beetle. Specifically, the trait that I have that is the most standout is that I am a vibrant blue. Think of it like I think it's I don't know how to describe, like, it is, when you think of the basic color of blue, it's that color blue but very bright, maybe like a cobalt blue, maybe.
Probably.
I don't know if that's like something like that.
We'll go
But
with that.
it is, yeah, it's paint. But in addition to that, I have like painted on like lightning strikes throughout the vehicle as well. The Thunder is he's basically like this overcompensating like tough guy who thinks that he can like take on the world, but in reality he is literally just a toy Volkswagen Beetle. He was always the fastest car of the bunch when like the group of cars that he has been with the whole time, like he was the one that was always the standout vehicle. So I think that because of that, he has like kind of like this superiority complex where he thinks he's just better than everyone. But in reality, it's not the case, but he hasn't realized that yet. So that's the fun thing about doing these characters. And my stats are strong arm +2, smiles +1, because I think with the smiles thing is just that he could definitely be entertaining intentionally or not. And then a scrounge -1. And my parts are the windows, the hood, the lights, the spoiler, and the mirrors. So I have like a little spoiler thing that like sticks out of the back of my vehicle as well. So there you go.
Spoiler.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. I have one.
All right. And so are you like ride around car size? Are you like what is your approximate? Are you Matchbox size? Are you
I am Matchbox size.
You are Matchbox size. So that is tiny things that you're keeping in that car then.
Yes, basically.
Okay.
I am but I don't think that again, I feel like generally speaking Thunder does not realize truly how small he is.
Okay, so it's even all right. So it's like a Napoleon complex mixed
Yes.
with a overcompensating. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So that covers all of our players. I know Thunder gave stats and moves. I don't know if anybody else feels particularly strong about giving that information right now, or if we want to just uncover it as we go. There is a mechanic in the game where we are looking to make ties to other characters. However, since this is a one-off at the moment, I'm going to have that. I don't feel particularly that we need to do that at all.
Okay.
For one-offs, you can start with one tie to each other player. But unless the adventure starter says otherwise, and I guess that's me, and I'm saying otherwise, Or we can just create ties as we go. So do people want to create ties with player characters now? My starting story was that you do not even know each other at the start of this. So that is why I feel like ties can either be made over time or we can just not. So if anybody feels strongly one way or the other, the point of Threadbare is that it's a very collaborative experience and the players get a lot of input into the story making, which is difficult for me because I have control issues. So I'm giving you an opportunity to influence.
I think Thunder is definitely does not have any connection to anyone else at this point outside of his crew of cars.
Yeah, I'm fine with us just all coming together unless, Walsh, you have an idea.
No, I just have a question. What do ties in the game do?
So essentially the ties function as something that helps move the story forward. So as an example, there are different ties related to the different levels of gameplay. So like we mentioned before, the fluffy, scruffy, and dented. So for the sake of time, I can tell you the scruffy ties, and there's essentially 4 different kinds. So one is like, I owe blank a huge debt. Blank has never really shown me much respect. Blank doesn't understand the world. It's my responsibility to teach them, or I will never forget what blank did for me. And so blank would be filling in the name of any other player character or a GM character. But you guys have not really been introduced to the GM characters yet, unless you would like to do it as we go. You're welcome to. But again, I feel like we probably can create enough of a story here without dealing with ties for this one-off.
Yeah, I think we can just keep going.
I think so.
I agree.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what you want to do, Kelcie.
Yep, that is. Thank you for agreeing with me. So next is, if we look at your playbook, I know some of you were dealing with Google Sheet, but essentially the playbook functions where there's that top right box where it says I have stuff, and then there's a blank box, and then there are a few hold boxes. So it is my understanding that everybody has stuff, and that stuff remains as stuff. We do not numerically assign it a quantity in any way. But as soon as you need to identify your stuff as a specific thing, that specific thing is then entered into the game and is part of your stuff. So, in going through the gameplay, it did not seem to me that there is necessarily a cap on how much stuff you have and how many things you can create out of it. But I think that for the sake of the game, we probably should have like a general idea, like with your original stuff that you have, you can only really create like 3 things, because I think that at a certain point, part of the game is also scavenging for things or trading with other players. So if you just are able to create everything that you need out of the stuff that you have, I don't know if that's really going to be a fun experience at that point. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So I would say that you have a random amount of stuff, but as you're creating things out of your own stuff, you'll be able to create 3 things throughout the game that you may need. Then holds function where if roll poorly, you end up with hindrances, and when you end up with damage to your parts. So if your parts are damaged, if even one single damage occurs, you end up having a hold that you can spend later depending on your character structure. So as an example, for a wool sock, like I'm looking at the sock playbook, or we'll do Walsh's, the finger puppets, on a 6 or less, you damage 1 part and that gets you 1 hold, and you can use that to establish a minor fact about someone you just met. And then you essentially consume that hold. If you end up damaging at least half of your parts at some point in the game, you end up with a hindrance, which ends up putting a -1 on one of your stats. So either Scrounge, Smile, or a Strong Arm.
Okay.
Cool?
Cool.
Have questions or concerns about gameplay? Cool. So,
yeah. No, the only thing I was going to say was that, like, I think it's kind of one of those things where if we get into the story and then we want to do certain things, I think that's probably when we will have to pull up the playbook. But I think right now it's kind of hard to know exactly what to ask, just because I'm not I'm not presented with a situation just
sure. That's totally fine. I am into the learn as we go structure. I just wanted to open up the opportunity and try to set as many expectations and rules up front based off of the, game that I can. So if everybody's good, I can then set the scene if you'd like.
Let's do it.
All right.
Sure.
Last minute questions. Sal, you need some chicken parm.
I always need the chicken palm.
All right,
never
all right.
have it.
Also, voice acting is very, very welcome throughout this entire thing. I would really like you guys to be in character. Of course, if Misch just also happens to sound like Go Cubs, that's fine.
Oh no.
Oh.
I haven't revealed the voice yet, but
Oh.
I haven't had to.
Oh, great, because the last Christmas one, we made you stop the voice very early. The
this
last
gonna be,
Christmas
like-
special.
Is this going to be like a biblical angel thing where we hear him say, like, be not afraid in 8 different voices simultaneously?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm
God,
gonna
if only.
echo it.
All right, well then, would everybody like me to announce the title of this table party episode before, like now or at the end?
Hit us with it. I like
Alright.
it.
Do it.
Hit us with the subtitle.
All right, so this episode of Table Party is subtitled Evergreen.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Great reaction, guys. Appreciate it.
Perfect.
All right, so we find our players at the night market. The night market is a marketplace that is located within the dining car of what is called the Zephyr Express and referred colloquially by the neighborhoods that live within and the travelers that come to the Zephyr X as the Zeph X. It is a old train that has been abandoned. And when I say old as in it was functioning and running at the time of the humans, but now that we are in the after times, we are dealing with an abandoned, derailed, damaged train. And actually, since I said human times and before times, I should probably give you some history. Threadbare's history is kind of gappy. There's information that we have, but we don't really know anything. So all toys that are awake in Threadbare know that there was once people. The humans wore the socks, children played with the toys. The images of people exist in the Threadbare world on old advertisements and magazines and newspapers and billboards, and definitely the remains of society, as I'll refer to it. It is very clear that the world that the toys exist in were not built for toys, but rather built for these humans that existed before. Today, there are no humans that exist at all. There are toys that are concerned or worried about what may come before them, as all sentient beings do, living in, an existential mindset. But there are also toys who just move through the world. They do not care. At some point, the world was broken. Humans and most animals completely disappeared, and now things are in decay and disarray, but it is simply the world that the toys know. One day, toys just started to wake up. Nobody knows in particular why they started to wake up or why some toys haven't woken up, why some woke up long ago and why some are just newly waking. But the world of Threadbare is constantly being added to by these toys as they awake, but also as they move through the world, make connections, trades, build more toy-appropriate societies within the structures that still exist. And that is essentially the point at which we find ourselves in the story. Some toys you'll even find have created families among themselves, very human-like family structures, and this seems to be just something that they're naturally falling into, but there's truly no longer any influence from the human world other than the images that we see around us. Okay, so then, hence, the Zephyr Express. The night market is in the dining car of the Zephyr Express. It is damp. The floor is damp. The air is moist and musty. The windows of the train car have broken and eroded over time, as well as the ceiling of the metal train car has kind of rusted and decayed, where even though it's nighttime, the natural light of the moon and stars, beautiful lighting. There's no light pollution anymore. The street lights and buildings and lamps have died out long ago. There are subtle patches of moss and mildew pretty much on everything. The floor is kind of like squishy. It's really beautiful. There are makeshift booths erected of random materials throughout and in and out of like the leftover dining cars and stools. The booths have random fabrics and organic materials with little tents, and somebody has figured out how to take effervescent plant material and string little lights throughout all of the little booths to create rows that you can walk through, and you hear laughter and commotion, and it is a hoppin' night at the night market, as it typically is. And you all find yourselves there to search for something. Some of you might be there for literal things. You're looking to score a good deal at the market, or you are there for information, or you are simply there just because it is your next place that you have found yourself. But there is a tangible energy in the air, and something else about this night is that it happens to be Christmas Eve. And while toys have no sense of time or dates or really any concept of what the world is at this point, other than what they have within their own societies, there is an energy that is shared among the toys collectively that they know when this night draws near. They don't always know. Not everybody knows as they awaken to call it Christmas or Christmas Eve, but eventually that's what they learn over time, talking to their other toys. The sensation, the feeling is strongest in the hours overnight between Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and emotions and senses are heightened. Everybody feels a sense of urgency and movement and collecting of things and purchasing. And trying to make it home to their families or their friends or whatever they call home. So there's an energy, a palpable energy, and kind of just an unspoken feeling between everyone. So you're in the crowd. You might be at, a vendor or just moving through, but all of a sudden you realize there's a commotion. Tension is being drawn into the crowd. You hear voices. Suddenly some are escalating. Some sound angry. Some sound surprised. And eventually the crowd breaks open a little bit. And as each of you simultaneously lock in on the source of the commotion and the crowd parts, a dirt-caked Peter Pan Pez dispenser falls face first into the opening of the crowd, and immediately following him are two toy soldiers that pick him up and apprehend him. "I said what I said!" he shouts out loud, and the toy soldiers are like, "Yeah, Peter, we've been through this. We know." And they try to pull him away. What do you do?
So I guess the first thing to establish is, where are we? Where are each of us amongst this crowd?
You tell me. Where are you? Thunder, if you were in a night market, where would you find yourself? Are you there for something in particular?
Well, I feel like Thunder would be trying to hand out autographs right now. Like, I think he has his own little booth set up.
So he's a vendor at the night market, and he's speaking to his fans, and is anybody coming up to the booth?
No.
Okay, so it's an empty booth with Thunder attempting to continue his fame and hand out autographs.
Yeah. Well, I think that Thunder wants the attention, so I think he's going to
wait, hold on.
The opportunity.
Wait. So let's just establish where everybody is, and then we'll go into moves. Is that good?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
So we know where Thunder is at his sad little booth as a sad little car man, trying to push his sad little non-career. Gotcha.
Yes.
So
yep.
So let's do. I'm just going to keep going down the general list if that's all right with everybody. So Misch, where would we find you at the night market on this Christmas Eve night?
Misch is at one of the vendors trying to haggle and trade with something that he has, but the vendor is not wanting what he's selling.
Do you want to establish and itemize a part of your stuff with what you're trying to sell? Is this something that Misch thinks is of great value, but he can't seem to get anybody else to understand that?
It's I don't know. It feels almost like a grift.
So Misch knows that it's a grift?
Not necessarily,
okay.
But he's trying to get more out of it from than what he's actually had, than what the value actually is. I'm gonna let's make a stuff.
All right, let's make a stuff.
I think that's how that works.
All right,
I want I want him to be holding like one of those Rubik's Cube keychains.
All right. So let's establish, I guess I didn't do this. I only really did this with Thunder. What is Misch's approximate size? Are you just like a standard teddy bear size? Like everybody pretty much knows what that means?
Yeah. Yep.
So the Rubik's Cube keychain is big enough where if he's holding it, it's the size of a like it's proportionally like a Rubik's Cube for him.
Yeah, I mean it might be like a little bit big. Like I would say his hands.
It's a little clumsy, but it's holdable.
It's a little clumsy. It's slightly bigger than his hands,
Okay.
but it's solvable.
His gorilla hands. Okay.
Yes.
And then is it a functional Rubik's Cube as a keychain?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so just do me a favor and indicate that as you are now remaining with 2 stuff and you have your first thing. So, and then list your thing as the Rubik's Cube keychain for me. Thank you. And the vendor's not having it from you.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Sal. Please tell me you're looking for some chicken parm.
Well, Sal already ate tonight.
Okay. All right.
Unfortunately, he got a knuckle sandwich.
But
What Sal's here for tonight is information.
He's here for information. And so is there particular information he's looking for?
Yeah. You see, Sal, ever since the before times, has been typecast into this one particular role. And he doesn't want to be that anymore. But his strings and his control rod anchor him to the past. And he thinks the only way to escape it is a rumor that he heard. There's a magical pair of scissors that can sever any puppet from who they used to be. And Sal's looked for it for a long time, but hasn't found anything. But he knows that if anybody would ever know more about it, it would be at the night market.
Okay. That's a big plot point that you're throwing at me. So are you here in search of who you think might be the person who has this rumor, or do you have some idea of who you're looking for that you think has the rumor? Does that make sense?
So most nights I kind of just talk.
Anthony,
No, it's okay. No, let him go. Let him go. Let him go. It's fine. He's been feeling this. All week he's been like, Kelcie, I'm going to use my stinky voice. I'm like, all right, use your stinky voice. That's fine.
So most nights I strike out. I'm really just looking for anybody who has any kind of proximal information. So no, I don't know anybody.
Okay.
Don't got a name, don't got a face.
All right.
Just kicking the can.
All right. I don't think that's... All right, that's fine. All right, so we're just going to leave Sal in his little information searching corner.
Hey,
that's
you
fine.
know anything?
Who are you talking to?
Sorry, I was just talking to someone in the crowd.
Oh, all right. I don't think that you're going to get... I'm sorry, just as an aside, I don't think people are going to really give you much information if you approach them that way.
Hey, you know anything?
All right. All right. All right. So now we are at the Aqua-Marines. Where are you guys?
You actually see Sal turn and ask this little shark finger puppet if they know anything, and because they're right there, and they're just hanging out as a group, and the shark finger puppet is like, I know that jellyfish are one of the creatures that don't actually need brains to live, and they can be up to this big! And he puts out his tiny little fins, even though this big wooden puppet is way bigger than them.
I love them already.
And you see this little dolphin finger puppet come over and be like, who are you talking to? And now this little collection of finger puppets has come over and started to tell Sal all of these wonderful fun facts about the ocean.
Well, I used to know some guys that swam with the fishes.
God damn it. God, you teed him up so good for that, Matt. I don't know if you realized.
I did not, but I'm so happy.
Oh, okay.
I like that there was complete silence from everyone else.
Well, you guys weren't near necessarily the situation, so... All right, so then... So all right, so then what do you do? So are we all, is there anybody, it sounded like Thunder wanted to jump right in because he sounds like an ass, so we're dealing with Thunder on that end, but is there anybody else that has immediate knee-jerk reactions, or are we going to let Thunder make himself an ass?
I'm going to say that Sal was startled by the scene and turned to look at it.
Okay. Yes, you're
I'm also-
all looking at it. That is established. Yes. You're all like, what? And then Peter Pan Pez comes right in, eats shit, gets picked up, and tries to get carted away by the toy soldiers. So then Thunder, what do you do?
I think Thunder is just gonna try to like try to figure. I think he just wants to figure out what's going on, but I think he's just gonna he's gonna be very assertive about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that he's just gonna try to reason with, or not even reason with the toy soldiers. He just wants to find out what's going on. Is there? I don't know if there's like a move for that though.
I think that for the most part, the moves and the play style are, and you can just interact, and we'll see if it divulges into a rollable thing.
Yeah. Why are you taking him away? What's going on?
All right, buddy. Listen, you do not need to be involved. We've dealt with him for years. We just move along.
He's the only one that looked over at me in my boots, so I kind of, it seems like he's gonna be the number one fan of Thunder, you know?
I'm sorry, who?
You don't know me. You don't know me, Thunder. With the lightning stripes. You don't know me.
All right, so they just kind of look at you for a minute, and with their wooden soldier leg, they kind of just, the one moves his foot forward and just kind of like slides you to the left and keeps moving forward.
I think a little finger puppet octopus has also walked up at this point. Matt, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna also come in, but you go first.
No, you guys can all come in at once, but we can let Walsh speak first.
Yeah, the little finger puppet octopus, who actually, unlike all of the other fish, he has a little top hat on.
Aww.
And that's also like made of thread. He says, "Please, gentlemen, what appears to be the issue here? I'm not very new. I'm not an often customer to the market. But you say you've had an issue with this man before. What happens to be the issue?"
So the Peter Pan Pez dispenser goes, it's the Evergreen, the Evergreen. We need to go. The Evergreen. And the one toy soldier kind of like shoulders into him and gets him to, kind of knocks the wind out of him a little bit to get him to comply and be quiet.
Tell you what, if you let this guy go, I'll give you a special surprise.
Why is Misch John Wayne? It's okay. You know what? Don't answer it. I like it.
It almost sounded like borderline Patrick Warburton, and I think that you're doing that because Gabe's not here.
I'm not, actually.
I think that's just unfortunately Go Cubs' life curse, is that he'll always sound a little bit like Patrick Warburton.
Everything I do is Patrick Warburton.
Right, exactly.
Warburton, that's it.
Yeah. All right, so the toy soldiers...
Check out this cube with the moving colors. Ain't it neat?
Alright, so one of the toy soldiers literally starts laughing and snorting because he doesn't even know what to do with this anymore. The other toy soldier's like, can you guys, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what this guy, the nuisance that he causes here. Almost every evening, he comes in here, hopping about, trying to tell people about the Evergreen.
Well, have you listened to him?
No, because it's nonsense. And so every night,
you know?
Because nobody here knows what the Evergreen is. It's something that
seems
he's
like
made
he's
up.
trying to tell us.
Oh man, will you let me finish my sentence?
Sorry.
No, that was the toy soldier. It's okay.
Okay.
All right, you want him? You want us to leave
Might
him
as
with
well.
you? All right, here you go.
Might as well.
And they drop
Hey,
him,
buddy.
so he falls on the ground, and they march away.
I help him up.
Well, that's very nice of you. It's the Evergreen. He kind of leans real close. He doesn't have arms, so it's not like he can grab you or anything. He's a Pez dispenser. So he kind of like leans in real close. And the mechanics of the Pez dispenser is that he's kind of a whole solid piece, but his head will jerk back as if he's opening his mouth to speak. And small crumbs of grape Pez emit as he speaks to you. It smells amazing, but it's a little disturbing.
I mean, I was a friend of a Honda Civic that was called Evergreen, but like I don't know if that's what he's talking about.
No, that's not the Evergreen.
Well, what is?
It's north. It's north. It's north. And he starts getting louder and louder, and people start turning and looking at you, and you realize you gotta get this guy to less of a place where there's too many people because he's disrupting.
Please, my friend, follow me, and let's continue our conversation. Kind of heading back to his little sock puppet, finger puppet group, where the shark Bobby is still telling Sal of these, interesting ocean facts. And that's why Flareon is the only Pokemon.
I help the Pez dispenser. I help Peter Pan.
All right. And who's is everybody? Because we didn't really have Sal. Did Sal speak to the situation at all? Did Sal just kind of move with the crowd because he saw an opportunity for information? His interest is piqued.
So, unbeknownst to the current party, Peter the Pez dispenser actually owes Sal some pocket lint.
No, all right. We're not doing ties, and you can't start making that up. No.
Okay.
All right, now I'm interested. So keep going, but I might veto it anyway. Say what you gotta say.
All right. So Sal gets distracted momentarily from being really enthralled in the ocean facts, sees Peter the Pez dispenser being carried by people, and knocks a Pez out of his face.
Oh my god. All right, and so...
Whoa.
All right, so...
That's exactly what Bobby the Shark says. He says, "Oh my god!"
So Peter spits out a little bit more grape Pez and turns his whole body to look at you and be like, "What? Why?
Look, kid, I was just knocking some sense back into you."
I don't even know you!
Sal grabs a little chunk of the grape Pez dust and starts to munch on it. Now,
Jesus.
How's about you give us a little bit more about that Evergreen riddle, and we'll let you go.
All right, I turn and look at the octopus, and I just go, I don't like him very much. He scares me.
Well, Bobby, what's been your interaction with our friend here? Oh, he's a good listener. He's very, very good. And it sounds like he wants to listen to you. Getting very uncomfortably close to the Pez dispenser.
All right, that's fine.
Do I have to knock some sense into this fucking puppet?
I'll tell you guys what I know, but it's not much, and everybody else treats me like I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy. Somebody told me this information, and I trust them. They treat me real nice, and when I get lost and I leave the train, they make sure that I have somewhere nice to stay, and nobody believes me.
It's okay. It's okay. It just we're here to listen to you.
All right, thanks.
He just kind of like just slips an autograph into his Pez.
All right, well he gags because it's his fucking mouth.
Well, no. Where don't they load the Pez into like his anus?
Wait, that's not any better. What are you talking about?
What? How does a Pez dispenser work? Don't you load it into a certain place and then like it comes out?
I thought that you
load it into the top. You load them in. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
You pull the top part back. You load in the full sleeve, and then you put the top part back, and then there's like a mechanism that springs them up as you pull the top
it's back. Been like a decade since I've had a Pez dispenser, so I apologize for the imagery.
All right, well, Peter proceeds to cough back up your fucking autograph and shakes the tears out of his eyes from gagging.
Can we actually erase this from happening? Because I do
you want to retcon?
Retcon, please.
No,
I did not realize.
No, Thunder deserves this.
Okay.
Thunder's like, I don't know if it's his fucking mouth or his ass. I just know I had to put it somewhere.
You sped right into that one, kid. Shame you couldn't put it in reverse.
Oh my god. Alright, Peter doesn't even really... He's had worse happen to him, unfortunately, so he doesn't really even think twice of it. He kind of actually looks at you and just goes, thanks, and then continues. And so he says, I have a friend, and I don't know his name, and I don't see him often, but he told me that it's okay, and that I have a place to stay for a little bit, anytime that he needs me to, that I need him to tell me to go, and it's called the Evergreen, and he said to go north, and he's real nice, and I haven't seen him for a while. The Evergreen is safe, and the Evergreen can help those who feel scared and sad.
Have you ever been there before?
I don't know. I might have.
You don't know if you've been there. What is it? What do you mean you might have? Does it erase your memory?
No. I'm nervous and sad, and I don't always remember, and sometimes people beat me up because they think I'm crazy, so I don't remember very well. But the Evergreen's real!
Can I roll to make a device?
Out of Peter?
No, not out of.
Oh, okay. Like, Jesus Christ, can't you see this guy's traumatized? Yeah, I guess so. What do you want to do?
So I want to grab, like, some fabric from the stall next to us. Like, let's just say it's, like, red fabric. And I want to make a rose for Peter.
I don't know if I have to say this beforehand or afterhand, but I would like to help.
I think all the moves, unless otherwise stated, are a 2d6.
Yes.
Yeah. So go ahead, do that. Plus the number of helpers, right?
Yay!
Alright, so that
that's
brings
a
you to a 10. So
I think I have to roll to help, right?
oh, well, it says plus helpers, the number of characters helping you make it. So I think if you just declare yourself a helper, it's just this game is very not, it's not too heavy on like rolling and technical stuff of that nature. So on a 10 plus, because now you rolled a 9 and Walsh makes it a 10, it uses up any things you need to make it and gains 1 move. Choose 3 from the following list.
Okay.
So you're looking to make a rose.
Like a rose pin. I'll explain it a little bit more.
Okay.
I'm going to choose it doesn't use up your stuff, it can be made again in the future, and nobody knows you made it. So, the Aqua-Marines.
Yeah, well, the finger puppet that's helping you is the one in the scuba diving gear.
Okay,
And
perfect.
they're just very silent.
So then, they rip off a piece of red fabric that I gestured to, and together we form it into this small rose. And I take the rose and I pin it to Peter, just under his Pez dispenser head. And I tell him, you see, Peter, in the old world this was a symbol of honor. It meant you were a made man. People became afraid of you, and they respected you. If you can help us, you can rest assured that this symbol will carry weight around here.
I somehow don't think that that's necessarily true, but thank you anyway. So really at this point, what you know is that there's a rumor about something called the Evergreen. We do not know if the information that we're getting from Peter is reliable, but he seems very certain of himself. And all you know is something about heading north. Do you feel comfortable venturing out of the train at this point, or do you want to see if Peter maybe knows something where you can get a little bit more information before venturing?
I'd like to have one of the, and I guess another finger puppet come up. This one is the one that looks like a seahorse.
Mm-hmm.
And the seahorse says, "Hey, listen, Peter. I get that you're scared, and that, it's a big, scary world, and you might not, be sure of yourself all the time. But if you, if whatever you know about this place, you let us know. And why is it so important to go there? Is it we'll be safe?" And you're shaking. Here, you know what? Taylor is always so good with words. If you listen to them, relax you for a second. And the scuba diver comes up, the one that helped make the rose, and they stand there for a moment, and they go, "Oh, thank you, Taylor. That was beautiful."
Peter sniffles, and he was like, "That really was so beautiful. Thank you, Taylor. I'm sorry. There's not, as I said, there's not too much more that I know or remember. But you should speak to the conductor. The conductor will tell you what you need to know to get there. And from what I do remember, it was very nice. And it's worth adventuring to.
Do you want us to take you with?
No, that's okay. I think there might have been somewhere I need to be.
Okay.
Alright, so Peter kind of like tilts his body to almost like nod and bow and thank you. And with his little flower, he hops back into the crowd. And he seems calmer and less upset after having the FaceTime with you guys. Before he leaves, he lets you know that the conductor have to head to the engine car of the Zeph X. And I have a very, very crudely drawn map of the Zeph X.
While we're walking, all of the little finger puppets are just introducing themselves to everybody.
That's very wholesome.
It's nice to meet you all. You can call me Misch. Any of you want to buy a puzzled cube? No?
I love this map.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so this is like a bird's eye view of the derailed and scattered train cars. So the dining car is that third car from the top that you are here. That's where the night market was. So you would need to pass through the sleeper car to get to the engine, which is the most direct way to go. It is not advisable to exit the train, for it is like teetering on the side of a cliff off of the derailed train line. You better just stay inside. So do you want to take a minute to speak amongst yourselves to establish, are you all intrigued by the Evergreen? Are you now a crew looking to venture together? What's happening?
I don't know any of you, but you all seem like fine chaps to me.
Well, I don't know about buying a Rubik's Cube, but I'm interested in this Evergreen.
I don't know, the way that he didn't want to come with us makes me quite suspicious of his actions, but makes me quite curious as well.
You make a good point.
It's better than any lead I've had in the past 6 months. People say I'm a little intimidating.
Scratch his head with Tommy gun.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna just tag along. Maybe I could get my name in the newspapers or something.
Who are you again?
You know what? Never mind. It's not important. Does anyone want like a ride to
South?
Like,
Oh, go ahead, please.
no, over to the to the engine car. Like, I mean, like, it's a lot of walking, so I'm like, I want to be like offer that.
If I stepped on you, you couldn't move.
I mean, it could like you could like hold on to the side, like you just like.
I
lay
step
down.
on him.
Ow. Okay. All right, get off. It's okay. I mean, yeah, the finger puppets. Any of you guys?
They're like, oh no, I mean, I'd feel bad for the other, for the rest of the gang if they wouldn't be able to ride. And
Oh yeah, it's okay. It's all good.
I feel like at least one of you would be interested. I could go pretty fast.
Flipper, you want to give it a try?
and Flipper, which I think they spoke a little bit earlier, they're like, you know what? Sure, I'll hop on. And they hop on. That was the dolphin.
Yeah.
Since Misch did step on you, you suffered a very little bit of damage to your back left wheel in that it is slightly turned in.
Okay.
And so it makes a little bit of a rubbing noise, and your ride is not quite as smooth as it was before that.
Okay.
But it doesn't really suffer you any sort of like movement loss.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you for making the note. I'm like watching your Google Doc in real time. All right, so you move forward. How are you just... Now, keep in mind that the cars are not neatly matching up like they would be on a train. Things have decayed and rotted, and you're making your way to the sleeper car. Is there anything in particular that happens on your way over? Do you have a little bit of difficulty getting there?
Sal says to Thunder, "Hey, kid, if you want some gas, I got some."
I've had this joke told to me many times before.
Cool. All right. Well, lucky for you guys, the rig between the sleeper car and the dining car is actually one of the most stable in the entire vessel still. So you're able to pretty neatly walk or roll or whatever your movement is, from the dining car outside in the elements, across the connector, and then find yourself in the sleeper car. And the sleeper car is where the largest population of socks lives for the entirety of the local Threadbare community. Most of them woke up inside of the luggage that was left behind on the sleeper car, but they're still only about half the population of the car. Socks are not a very common population in Threadbare. There are some small mecha that move around as well inside of here, and they've actually created families and have taken over the bunks, the individual sleeping bunks, as their own homes, and created like nuclear type families within the housing structure of this sleeper car. As you guys enter and kind of move through, it's quiet, it's late at night, and you kind of see a few, a sock mom or a mecha dad kind of give you a look and shut their blinds, because they're trying to get their little sock mecha babies to sleep and so forth. And you kind of make your way through, and as you're moving through, you realize that somebody is approaching you out of a dark corner. And you see them as they come closer and closer into view, the moonlight sitting off of them. They are a softie. They are light green, kind of generic looking stuffed animal. They don't seem to be of any particular animal type. And they approach you and they hold out their arm and they go, "Stop! Name yourselves."
Misch.
I'm Thunder, but you probably knew that already.
No.
Okay.
Well, my name's Sal, but if you're gonna make me choose a new name for
Oh
myself,
God, no! Please
I
stop
think I'll
talking.
need a few minutes.
No, stop. You, the puppets. Are you from here? I don't have you on the list.
We unfortunately are not. My name is Oswald Henry Paul, and my associates here, I have Seabiscuit, the seahorse. My friend on the Thunder car is my friend Flipper, the dolphin. I also have Taylor, our fearsome leader. And we have Bobby Shark.
All right, so Kilroy just kind of gives you a once-over, and they go, "All right, well, what's your business?" And you realize that they're standing just in front of a door that is the exit door from the sleeper car, and immediately thereafter would be the engine room. And they seem to be almost guarding it like a bouncer. And they're asking your business, and you see that in, no pun intended, but Threadbare embroidery, the name Kilroy, Kilroy, is across the left chest part of the animal. Nobody's going to tell me what you're here for. You're here for a reason. You're obviously not from here. You're
No,
wasting my time. What's the problem?
We're just trying to get through this car to the other one.
Excuse me, if I may ask, what role are you? Like are you like a part of the toy soldiers? Are you part of the what authority do you have to block our way?
Not your business right now. What are you here for?
It is very much our business.
Like it.
We're moving north to see the Evergreen.
I'm sorry. What was that?
We're moving north to see the Evergreen.
The Evergreen. Okay. Have you been hanging out with Peter by any chance?
We may have spoken to him once or twice.
Well, why are you trying to get into the engine car?
We're going to talk to the conductor. Now, okay, if you please move.
The conductor.
The engineer, whatever the fuck.
No, the conductor. Well, I'm Kilroy, and I'm the conductor's right-hand toy. The conductor doesn't see walk-ins.
Can we make an appointment?
He's a busy man. You can make an appointment for a price.
I got this puzzle cube.
Look, you wouldn't be getting an attitude from us if you haven't come out with the attitude right out of the gate, okay? We're just here right now to just... We just want to talk to the guy.
In the middle of you speaking, Kilroy just kicks out her right leg and just slides you to the right.
I'm going to then do... Hold on a second, if I can find...
Not like violently or harshly, but just kind of like shh, quiet, and just kind of like moves you to the side.
Right, but I think it's going to invoke in Thunder. Look fierce.
Look fierce. Okay, let's see. All right. When you stand up to a bully, roll plus strong arm. On a 10+, you are fierce. The bully backs down and gives you something to make you go away. On a 7 to 9, they back down but are still wary of you. So roll a 2d6.
All right. That is an 8.
All right. So they back down, but they are still wary of you. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I don't mean to come at you to give you a hard time. It's Christmas Eve. People are nuts tonight, okay? I'm tasked with protecting the conductor and the engine room. I can't just let you through. Payment is required, but I'll work with you.
Okay. I that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. I wanted some reasoning.
Flipper kind of steps off of Thunder, trying to be a kind of good cop. Well, what's the payment?
It's per person. So you can give me something, but it has to come from each of you.
Oh.
And it has to be a thing. Can't just be stuff.
Huh. Interesting. This is out of character. I'm trying to think.
Right. So now keep in mind that you all had 3 stuff, quote unquote, to work with that you can fashion small items out of any of this stuff. So Misch already has the Rubik's Cube keychain, but if for some reason Misch feels that is something special and does not want to just turn it over as payment to see the conductor, then they can use another stuff to make something insignificant.
That's what I'm thinking about doing.
I think Thunder has read the room enough where he's kind of like, all right, this guy doesn't know who I am, and so instead he's going to use a buddy of his. He's going to craft like a little like statuette type thing of a buddy of his who is definitely more famous than he is. I'm trying to think of what that might be. It's gonna be like a fucking Ferrari named Fred.
Fred the Ferrari.
Yeah, Fred the Ferrari, he's definitely more famous in this universe, that he's gonna make like a little statuette, and it's gonna be like, it's gonna be like a...
So you are a Matchbox car, so you are making an even more micro, small, like just a little tiny model Ferrari.
Yes, yeah, but
okay, it doesn't have to be anything like of any significance. You could literally have fashioned like a thumbtack.
Yeah, well,
okay, all right.
Thunder works off of fame.
All right. That's fine. All right, so you're all gonna craft your things and just hold on to them for a minute. So we got Thunder's Fred the Ferrari model.
I'm going to make a miniature treasure chest to
wow,
really
you guys
just
are
look.
really just so extra. Okay, so we've got a tiny Fred the Ferrari, and we've got a tiny treasure chest. Is it a functional treasure chest?
It can open and close. There's some gold looking stuff inside.
Okay, like fake, like painted in and kind of molded in.
Yeah.
Okay, very cute. All right, so we got a tiny treasure chest, and we got a tiny Fred the Ferrari.
Oh my god! I tell you what, I make a little origami dove, and it's holding a cannoli.
Oh my god! All right, so just so you know, Kilroy is standing there and just completely unamused by everything you guys are doing. Just watch, like she's seen it all before.
Sure.
You've seen a little paper dove holding a cannoli?
Trust me, when I look at unique things, I know what unique is. That cannoli and the dove. It's the most unique thing I've ever seen. It's beautiful, Sal.
Oh, thanks. And Sal just with his little puppet hand, just kind of like wipes just under one of his eyes.
All right, and you? And she motions to the Aqua-Marines.
Flipper steps away from Thunder, and they're kind of talking amongst themselves, trying to figure out what exactly they want to do. And it seems that they have collected together amongst themselves, checking what they have. It seems they have a small spool of thread, they have a button, and they have a thumbtack. And
so those are your three stuffs are used then. You've established those 3 things as stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
And we're gonna have a Seabiscuit come up, and Seabiscuit is going to come up to, what was it, Killjoy?
Kilroy.
But
sorry. yes, Killjoy for sure.
That was out of character, but now I'm thinking that could have been a great insult. Is going to come up to Kilroy because they kind of look very sad because they are realizing they don't have enough stuff for all of them, and Seabiscuit will come up. Excuse me, but we're a family, and while we don't have enough stuff for each of us, we'd really like to stick together. If I have to stay behind, I will. I'll be brave. But could you think you could maybe let us pass anyway as just a group of 5?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna hold you to one for every person, so just pick one and hand it to me. This is really, I gotta be honest with you guys, it is purely a technicality. I don't give a shit what you hand over.
Oh, okay. I was gonna be like, because I was thinking like, oh, I'll try to influence people. I'll roll for that, and then I was like, oh, okay. Because I was thinking it was one stuff for each little finger puppet.
No, I'm sorry. It was like, it's per... Yeah, I could see where that would set panic in you. No. It is just one per entity. We'll put it that way. You're not the first set of finger puppets that have come through. We've set in a rule to ensure that you all collectively can hand in a single item. So, Kilroy reaches behind and takes a clean but clearly very worn out McDonald's sauce cup that no longer has the lid
Ew.
for it, and has you. It's clean. There's no sauce, but it is just It has seen some shit. This receptacle, and she holds it out in front and asks you to place your items, and hands it out to each of you as you place everything in. She requests that Sal keep the cannoli as she hands the bucket around.
So I want to use the think it through action. Because I want to ascertain what flavor the sauce cup was.
Okay. All right, roll. Wait, so when you reveal to the GM a fact about a problem or mystery, the mystery is what was once in the sauce cup.
Okay, I can work with that.
No, I'm asking. It was kind of a question, because you're revealing to me a fact about a problem or mystery. So is the mystery, I must know what was in the sauce cup? Because he's not even listening to me. All right.
I got it too.
Well, you got it too. So you kind of as you place your item in the box, now, did you actually fashion a real tiny cannoli for this dove, or is it a paper origami miniature cannoli that is with the origami dove?
It is a miniature paper origami cannoli.
Okay, then it can remain. We just didn't want anything to soil the rest of the items. So, cannoli can stay. You absolutely obliterated that roll. So, you look at the cup and you see that whoever washed it didn't do, the best job, and there's a little bit of dried sauce from who knows fucking how long ago, kind of on the underside corner, and you see that it is a indiscernible yellow, dry, crusty spot, and you cannot figure out what may have been in the cup before, and you will never know.
Ah, I have a feeling that was hot mustard.
Okay.
It was barbecue sauce.
You will never know. I believe that because you rolled so poorly, you have to put a hold on your character.
I'm gonna damage myself from looking too hard at what the sauce was.
You did.
Yeah.
So
this is what you did. You did this to yourself.
As you place the cannoli dove into the empty sauce cup, which is a sentence I thought I'd never say in my entire life, you kind of accidentally stumble over yourself a little bit, and you chip the front part of your Tommy gun off on the edge of the sauce cup.
It's just like a sawed-off gun or whatever the fuck they call it.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
The sawed-off shotgun or whatever.
That was a mistake.
Yeah, it was a mustard take. Mustard.
Oh, you revealed it.
No, well, he said he thought it was hot mustard. No, all right. Listen, I'm not going to derail an entire session right now over this. I did not confirm nor deny that it was mustard. I was only going off of the fact that Sal inferred it may have been hot mustard.
Who knew such an answer could be so sweet and so sour?
All right, the game's done. Everybody go home.
Go home.
Just kidding.
The Aqua-Marines are going to hand over a button.
Okay, fantastic. What color is the button?
It's actually like a big red button. You guys actually don't know where they pulled this out of.
The
They're also
octopus.
small.
All right. Do they all symbolically have one hand on the button as they put it into the cup?
No, they're all making
a designated delivery person.
They're all making Bobby do it. The shark. He's like, hold on, I'm almost. And he almost falls over. Hold on. Here we go. Oh, just fits in there.
All right, so Kilroy then nods to you all as you submit your items, takes the cup, moves over to the side where it looks like there is an old ashtray port in the wall where she dumps the stuff down into the port, puts the bucket down, and motions to follow her. So then you all follow suit. You follow her out of the sleeping car, across another very deteriorated boundary between the sleeper car and the engine, and there's actually enough of a gap that some of you have to kind of like hop over and throw yourselves enough to be able to catch and land on the other side. And we realize that really causes a issue for Thunder. Misch and Sal are large enough that they're able to get over with relative ease. They do have to kind of physically assert themselves. The Aqua-Marines are able to chain link themselves over and swing, and they're fine. But Thunder is it's an obstacle for Thunder. So Thunder, what do you do? Do you ask for help? Do you try to fashion something?
Is there anything that like he can like ramp off of?
It's kind of just like a downsloped bolt, so it's almost like the bolt that holds two cars together, and it's deteriorated in the middle, and it's kind of both piked down slightly.
Okay.
So there's not really a way for you, like if you kind of started to go down the one, unless you really would need some assistance from either something or someone, otherwise you're just kind of going to go straight down.
Right, like there's no way that I can kind of like try to leap.
Ramp up.
Okay.
No.
Well, I mean, I could try to go like top speed here, but I don't even that I don't think is gonna reach the other side.
How big's the gap?
I'd say probably 7-8 inches.
Okay.
Yeah, like I mean, look, I'm Thunder, so I would like maybe I'd like graze like the edge, and like you could, but like I'd like hit my face maybe, but like I still won't make it. Let's just being honest. So is there any, like, can anyone like just? God, this is so embarrassing. Can someone like carry me or like?
Sure thing, little guy.
I think I saw a tow truck back in the dining cart.
I really don't want to go back there right now.
Gentlemen, I have an idea, if we may. We do happen to have this spool of thread. If we happen to tie this off onto Thunder, and I know this might sound a bit dangerous, but Thunder, you might fall off a bit, but we can pull you up on the other side.
Listen, my life has been built off of, riding dangerous situations. That's what makes me Thunder, alright? So if that's what we gotta do, that's what we gotta do, you know what I mean? I just met you guys, and maybe I should trust you, but you know what? Again, gotta live life dangerously,
Now, of course, that does include meaning that we need the muscle to be able to pull you to the side, and of course, me and my entourage are a bit small.
Don't worry.
So I
got you covered.
Thank you, friend.
Meaty Misch comes to the rescue.
You guys are big!
Alright,
so we're going to do this where Misch rolls to help someone.
Okay.
And since we didn't really do ties, but I'm just going to assume that everybody has a tie with each other, you're going to roll a 2d6 plus 1.
Okay. That's 6.
All right, so it's a 6.
Yeah.
So that fails.
Fucking
so,
yikes.
Goodbye, Thunder.
Wait, can I help them helping?
Wait, so you fashioned the rope to Thunder, and how are you looking to pull him over the gap, or are you kind of letting him hang? You kind of guided him off to hang down, and you're now just dangling him over the side on your side and trying to pull him up.
I think that was the plan
that second
originally.
one. Yeah.
The second one, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So you are pulling him up, and your hand slips.
Oh.
Grab him. He doesn't fall, but everyone lunges forward to try and help grab. So now you've got Sal on your one side, and you have, let's say, is Taylor the one with, like, human-like arms compared to everybody else?
Yeah.
Sea animals?
Yeah.
So are we going to say Taylor helps?
Yeah, Taylor's there, and then the rest of them are trying to hold on to Taylor. Some of them are using, like, their tentacles, or their seahorse tail, or the shark is actually biting into one of them, trying to pull it. It would hurt if they weren't made of like cotton.
All right. So I want both. I'm making up my own rules for a second. I want both the Aqua-Marines and Sal to roll a 1d6.
Wow.
Yikes.
Thunder, you good, man?
Woo!
Alright, so with your... Alright, so that's 3. So that brings you to a 9. So you help someone all together. I wasn't going to kill off Thunder. So you help someone all together. You get Thunder up on the one side, and you get to choose one. But since everybody rolled like crap, we're just going to say that nothing breaks and everybody's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that good for everyone? Because it was a joint effort. We get Thunder. Thunder's a little shaken.
Guys, thank you so much. I thought I was good. Yeah, that was totally cool. Totally
if it's any sort of comfort, I also thought you were going to die.
I don't worry. I wasn't worried one bit. I was totally confident in you guys.
All right, and so this entire time, Kilroy has just been leaning against the door, watching and waiting, and did not offer to help at all. Even though they were completely capable of doing so.
Seems about right.
Yeah, so Kilroy's like, are you done?
I have a question.
Yeah.
After all of this and all of the very bad rolls, is the thread still usable?
The thread is actually perfect. We don't even know what this thread is made out of. The thread did not get damaged. It was merely the clumsy mishandling almost killed Thunder.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So that's good, but you all should mark a hold.
Okay.
Not me, though, because I didn't do shit.
No, not you. Yeah, you just hung there crying. All right, so now you are making your way into the engine room. It is dark. The engine room, for whatever reason, has not deteriorated quite like the rest of the train. The only lights that you're seeing is somehow there are still some mechanical lights on. Very faint and small, red, yellow, blue buttons, sporadically here and there. The assumption is that it's some sort of old safety generator that, for whatever reason, is still going. We don't really know for how long. The engine room is curved in the front, though the shape is kind of like a bullet, and there's a big leather seat. And Kilroy brings you in and asks you to stand shoulder to shoulder in almost like a very shortly curved semicircle, and makes her way around to behind the chair. You then see 2 other toys come out, a Barbie doll and a T-Rex, and they use their muscle power to swivel the chair around to where it is now facing you, and you see the conductor. The conductor is a silver locomotive model wearing a conductor's hat. He is the leader of Zeph X, and most toys in the Zeph X have actually never seen him. Something happened long ago that has made him hole up inside of the engineering room, and he rules through his team that is on the outside. Very few actually know what he looks like, though he gets his messages out to the crowd. He looks at you, and he does not speak. And Kilroy says, "The crew before us has come to ask for information." And his lights on the very, very front of the train blink, almost as if telling you that those are his eyes as he stares in your direction. And now there is silence, allowing for whoever would like to step forth to speak.
So you the conductor?
Kilroy looks at you, and she's like, "Are you serious?"
Just tested.
This is the conductor.
That was a test. You passed.
Okay. I was expecting like one of those like guys in tuxedos with like the sticks, because they conduct music, right?
That is a funny joke.
I was thinking it was going to be some kind of electrical fuse box.
Okay.
What is it that you ask of me? The conductor. A voice comes bellowing out of the conductor and cuts you off.
I do apologize for the rest of my party. I happen to have heard word about a place north called the Evergreen, and we also heard that you might be able to share some information with us to satisfy our curiosity.
The conductor shuts his eyes for a moment and lets out a sigh that comes through the train as a whistle at the top of his person. And it's not a very loud one. It almost is slightly strained, but it's enough to let you know that he's kind of taking in the moment and exhaling. And he opens his eyes again. He says, "How did you hear of the Evergreen?"
Peter.
He closes his eyes again. He's like, Peter. And Kilroy just kind of looks at the rest of you and is like, we are very familiar with Peter. It's a shame that he's treated the way that he is. He is not well, but he's not wrong. And the conductor says, "Thank you, Kilroy. The Evergreen is a legend. It is a rumor for most. There are few who have journeyed in search of it. To my knowledge, and I have ruled over Zephex for a very long time, those who have traveled to Evergreen from Zephex have not returned. I can tell you that the Evergreen, by legend, is located due north. You start moving north until you hit the white ground. You will then see a thick group of tall, dark trees to your west. Is anybody writing this down, or are you going to remember it?"
No, we'll be good. White ground, trees to the west.
Thick trees.
Easy.
You will head to the trees and look for the walls of stone. You will not enter the forest. The stone should be before the forest.
White, trees on the west, go to the stone.
He closes his eyes and a little bit of air goes through the whistle once more. Opens his eyes again. Follow the walls further north until you reach the foothills. You'll then see the great rust bird. Head to the bird to find the Evergreen. That is all I know regarding the Evergreen. Other than those who venture rarely and for Zephex do not return. Another thing is you must stick together for the wilds beyond Zephex and before the bird, or that they are wild, they are unpredictable, and you must take caution.
Well, we're pretty used to sticking together.
I think we can manage that.
I'm an all-terrain vehicle. Let's do this.
Hey, Kilroy said you'd give us some supplies for the journey.
Kilroy would never say that.
That's worth a shot.
You must gather supplies before you go. And there is something that you must keep in mind. You cannot make the journey on foot. Figure it out.
What about wheels?
He leans back into the seat, and the 3 minions of his swivel him back around. It is very clear that he is not offering you any more information. Question hour is over, and he is dismissing you.
Okay, well.
All right.
Kilroy moves forward and says, "All right, that's all we have for you.
Oh,
You must
God,
leave."
Can I ask you one more thing, Kilroy?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna help you out of the room,
Well, yeah,
and I'm gonna
as we're
be
leaving.
stationed back in the sleeper car, and I will try to answer your questions as best as I can, but I do not have all the information. So,
Do you
Kilroy brings you. Can you wait a minute?
Yeah.
Kilroy brings. Kilroy brings you out. That's Kilroy, not me. You get back over the gap. Kilroy picks up Thunder and just tosses you over because she doesn't want to do it. And she
Thunder's
definitely could have done that the
sobbing.
first time, but chose not to. Just literally, just throws you, over to the other side. And then everybody else makes their way over.
I mean, that was radical.
And shuts the sleeper car door behind her, and you're back in the sleeper car. And you have an opportunity to ask what you need to ask.
Have you ever seen anyone leave for the Evergreen?
Yes.
What do they leave on?
most figure out how to fashion a vehicle or rent one.
Very good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I mean, guys, just look at me. I guess one of you could ride me, but
Kilroy leans down and looks at Thunder very directly and says, "You cannot carry passengers. You will hurt yourself. I'm sure that you do many wonderful things, but being a passenger vehicle will kill you. Figure it out."
Okay.
Well, if I had 2 of them, I could use them like skates.
We need another 2 for me. I don't think we could get that many Thunders. They only strike once in the same place.
I have my crew.
I recommend that you make your way back towards the dining car and use the marketplace to see if there's anything that you can gather further that you may not already have on you. Or if you need to, you can make your way over to the cargo cars. And at that point in the cargo car, there is a plethora of broken toy parts that I'm sure that you could figure out how to fashion together to get on your way.
You know, you're more helpful than you initially let on. I appreciate that help.
I don't like talking to people.
That's so funny. I was just talking to Taylor. They had the same idea.
I wish you luck. I will likely not see you again.
All right.
Thanks.
Farewell.
Let's head out.
Taylor will give them a hug.
Kilroy just kind of taps the top of Taylor's helmet until they let go. All right, so you make your way. Are you making your way to the dining car? You want to see if you can barter and trade and also maybe use some of your stuff to build a vehicle? Are you looking to see if anybody will lend you a vehicle? Or are you looking to go to the cargo cars to strictly salvage?
With me personally, I would probably go to the cargo car. I'll do this in character. I don't have that much stuff left, so I think I would go to the cargo car if anyone would like to come with me.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Feel like I need to save stuff for later.
I do believe that might be the best option of sorts. I mean, we have to head through the dining car in order to get there, so if we happen to see a deal on the way and we can perhaps afford it, we just might use that, but let's keep our sights on the cargo car.
All right. So then with that, you make your way back through the sleeping car. A fluffy Christmas sock reaches its way out of its bunk and goes, shh, as you guys make your way through. We've left Kilroy and we are making our way through the dining car. The crowd, it's been a little bit of time has passed. The rush is dying down, getting later. So you are making your way through. There's less people. You pass a few booths. You see that there is a Jack-in-the-Box selling buttons. You see that there is a crocodile toy selling crayon chunks and a few other random here's and there's. You do see that there is a troll doll selling batteries, which is interesting and something that you kind of just tuck away in your little memory box in case it comes up later. And then you see that there's a corner and it almost looks like a little bit of like a soup kitchen. It looks like there are toys from all different species and types and backgrounds that are working their way through and getting bowls of nourishment for free. And you look and you see your good friend Peter with his little rose pinned on his collar. And he's sitting there and there is a other Pez dispenser she's blue and she has a blue bow in her hair. And there is a smaller Pez dispenser that is green and has little fairy wings. And they're all there sharing some soup together in this little soup kitchen. And it fills your heart with goodness and determination, and you move forward.
Wasn't that just the holiday spirit?
Yes. And so you make your way forward, and in order to get to the cargo car, you have to pass through the passenger car. For the sake of time, I don't know why I did this, but I decided to not have this all be in one area, and in hindsight, I should have. So you pass through the passenger car. What's the most interesting part of the passenger car is that trees and vines have since grown through this area of the train, and it's almost like a jungle. It is twisting vines, and the steel frames are almost completely coated in leaves. There are toys that are very evidently married to taking care of this area of the train. That they are like little gardeners and horticulturists that are tending to and helping grow and flourish this area of the train. So as you make your way through, you have to kind of come up rope ladders and swing down little vines and duck underneath large limbs in order to make your way through the passenger car to reach the cargo car. And it is just a sight to behold.
Could the Aqua-Marines see if they could find five little leaves, one for each of them, just in case of an emergency and they need to parachute?
Absolutely. So, are you looking to roll?
Yeah, I guess so. I think that would be to...
You don't have to, because I also would just let you find those things, but if you want to make it interesting, you can roll.
Sure, let's make it interesting. I think that'd be to scrounge.
Yes.
There's a find something move.
Oh, what I'm not looking at it. I don't know what the basic moves are.
When you search for useful stuff for things, roll plus scrounge. And then if you succeed, you gain stuff.
Cool. Oh, that's a 6.
What's your scrounge? Oh, it was -1.
Yep. So I rolled a 7 and then it was a -1.
All right, cool. So that's a failure. But what we will have you do is, even though that happened, you're making your way through and you're almost reaching the very end of the passenger car. You're about to enter the cargo cars. And Taylor happens to look to the right and spots a 5-leaf clover. And so even though these leaves could not be used as a makeshift parachute, they're far too small and delicate, Taylor picks the clover and divides the lucky leaves, up between each of the Aqua-Marines so that they have a little leaf to carry with them.
So something interesting happens for the finger puppets if I roll 6 or lower.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that one of my puppets finds a new home.
Finds a new home?
Finds a new home. I damage 1 part and gain 1 hold that I can use to establish a minor fact about someone you just met. So
I think that you can hold on to the hold. I don't think that you have to use it immediately, but you can do that with anybody that you meet going forward.
Okay. And we don't have to flesh this out, but I think that Flipper, who I think has been riding with Thunder before getting out of the passenger car, and this whole time they have been very like, wow, just looking at all of the leafery and the vines and things like that, and they're going to step off of Thunder and they're going to say, Thunder, thank you for taking me so far, but I think I'm going to stay here. This place is... I haven't been in this car before, and it is absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, well, that's totally fine. I glad I could help. And like Thunder like turns away and he gets like a little sad that he's losing his buddy, his riding buddy.
I'm happy that we helped you get across earlier in one piece, and thank you for taking me so far.
You're welcome. He's trying really hard to mask it, but he's not doing a good job.
Thunder, before I go, could I get an autograph?
He immediately like breaks out of the tears.
I'm gonna cry. Yeah, I'm gonna cry.
He's like on the verge of tears, and he's just like he's gonna just real quick like pull out like a little photograph that has Thunder doing just a really like cheesy like little like pose with his wheels, like almost like he has like, his like right wheel and left wheel like his, as if it's like his legs are like doing like a show off pose, like he's doing that with his wheels in the photo, and it has like a little like oily signature on it, and he hands it over to Flipper. This is like, here you go. Remember, if you ever think of cool cars, you think of Thunder.
Thank you very much. And Flipper's gonna hug the rest of the Aqua-Marines, and they say, "Don't worry, I'll know you guys will make it. Goodbye."
Wow. All right, so you that's heart-wrenching, and so we're going to move our way over into the cargo car. All right, so then you make your way into the cargo car. Now, the cargo car is originally where, in the early days of the Awakenings, where most of the newly awakened toys and parts and stuff found themselves. They have since been picked over pretty well, and the cargo car now serves as more of like a refused parts and broken parts area. But this is typically where people will scrounge for things and try to create new things. So there's really nobody in here. There's a couple of little skittering, toys moving about, but you have pretty much free reign of whatever you want to find in here. So do you guys want to think about what you think you will need in order to journey into the White Lands? Or you just want to see what you come across? I'm kind of just going to let you do what you want.
How about a dirigible?
Oh my god.
A what?
A what?
Please explain yourself,
it's
puppet.
Full of hot air, just like me. Goes up, goes down. Just make sure it's not full of helium.
So you're looking for a hot air balloon.
Yeah, that's the word for it.
So travel by land.
If you can travel by sky, you can travel by land.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm saying.
It's just over the land.
All right, so what do you?
I don't know who I'm talking to.
What do you need for a hot air balloon?
So you need
hot air.
Big sheet.
Yeah, sheet, rope, comfy basket,
and a heating source.
Fire.
And,
Fire.
And
I don't like the sound of fire.
Right.
Personally.
Usually some snacks.
All right, so that's one option.
Now, gentlemen, I do believe a hot air balloon may perhaps be an option, but let's work through our vehicles, shall we? Now, everyone knows a submarine, which is an absolute unit under the water, might not be the best bet here. And all of the Aqua-Marines are like, I agree, yes, of course. And they go through all of their aquatic vehicles. I'm like, this might be harder than we thought.
How about a big metal slab with wheels on the bottom?
We could call it lightning.
I mean, I guess we could do that, in theory, someone should have called me, lightning, with the lightning strikes and all that, but, thunder just fit my vibe,
I'm going to scrounge to try to find some big wheels.
All right.
Roll for find something.
All right.
It's 5 + 2, 7.
All right.
So I can pick one. It's exactly what you're looking for. It isn't dangerous or nobody else wants it. I'm going to say it is exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for just a bunch of big wheels.
All right. So you find 4 big wheels. You luck out in the sense that they are all pretty much the same size, but one is bigger than the other 3. Just enough to make it a wobbly experience.
This'll work.
All right.
Now we just gotta get some axles and some other stuff to make it move.
Unless perhaps we use the larger wheel and create quite the tricycle.
Tricycle.
I meant to say tricycle, but I am... Whew, let's keep moving.
We could just look for some packages, because those make the cargo.
God.
Boo.
I pull out my Tommy gun.
Just sawed off Tommy gun.
No need to get feisty.
All right, who wants to roll to find the body of the car?
I'll roll for that.
Roll your 2d6 plus 2. Or no, plus your scrounge, rather. I'm looking at Misch. All right, well, take a hold, and you find nothing. Who's next?
I have a -1.
Try anyway, because you're really just...
Sure.
Things are going great for everyone.
Yeah. Nope.
Make a hold.
Oh my god.
Alright.
Aqua-Marines, you want to find the body?
No, I want to look for... I'm looking for a thimble.
Alright, look for a thimble.
Because I want a new part. So let's... first I'll look for the big body of the car. Then. And then I'll look for parts for me later.
God.
That is a 6. Does anybody want to help me?
I'll help.
So I think it's just +1 for your helpers. if I'm remembering correctly. Like, I think you just add a +1 for everybody who helps you. They don't roll.
Oh,
There you go.
hooray!
So on a 7 to 9, it's exactly what you're looking for, or you get 3 options. I'm having trouble finding them on my thing.
It's exactly what you're looking for. It isn't dangerous, or no one else wants it.
On a 7 to 9, pick one. You know what, Kelcie, work with me here. Nobody else wants it.
All right, cool. Found the car body. So what is it?
So I think if nobody else wants it, then I want to say that it is... This is in the cargo hold of a train.
Let's say that it is a Tesla box.
A Tesla box?
A box that held a Tesla model of a car.
Oh god, shoot it into the fucking sun.
Right.
Fucking Tesla.
Nobody else wants
Just-
it.
Guys, we found a cardboard box? It's got a funny logo on the sign.
That's a T for thunder.
Gives me some weird vibes to it.
All right, so you're attaching wheels to it?
Yeah, if we can. If the wheels came with, like, axes or axles.
Axles.
So we're going to say that the 3 that are all pretty much the same do have axles, but that one bigger guy is missing parts, so you got to find something. Or use your stuff to create something.
I've got thread and I've got a thumbtack.
This could also be a good opportunity for Thunder, since he is a car.
But he's a baby car.
I'm a super baby car.
I just meant like you may have an advanced understanding.
That's true. Yeah. I mean I could just make me but bigger.
You guys can also cannibalize, which means that you can break something off of yourself to get stuff out of it and make it into something. So, like, theoretically, if you were, say, somebody that was being motioned by large sticks, you could break a piece off to shove into the wheel and then attach it to the box.
And I think I heard the Aqua-Marines say that they have a thumbtack.
Yeah.
Whatever you guys want to do to get yourself on the road.
Could I happen to use that thumbtack to kind of push it into place in a convoluted way?
Sure, roll for it.
Oh boy. What do I add to that?
Are you all working together?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So, what are your stats?
I have -1 to scrounge. Oh, that's crafting and trading. Smile is +2 and strong arm is +1.
All right, so let's say you use your strong arm because we're going to use some elbow grease, and then +1 for everybody who's helping you. So that's a +3 for whatever your 2d6 is.
11.
Oh, I added +3 to it, so altogether that is an 8.
Never mind.
All right, so still good. So that absolutely works. Make a device. It doesn't use up your stuff. It gains a second move. It can be made again in the future, or nobody knows you made it. So do you want to say that the car has some sort of ability for it?
Yeah.
Or you want to say that you just happened upon another thumbtack and it doesn't actually use up the thumbtack you have, so it doesn't use up your stuff? Or you'll get one stuff back.
Can I get one stuff back?
Yeah, that's totally fine. So just make sure that you mark yourself with having an extra stuff you can make into a thing in the future.
Can I use stuff to create a part?
You use stuff not to create a part, you use it to create things.
Okay.
So, you have a body and you have wheels. How are you propelling this?
Well, they could just use me. Attach myself to the back. It's all good. We're good.
To the back? You're going to push it?
Oh, I guess I could.
Well, Thunder, can we line your wheels up to the axles, and when you spin your wheels, it makes the axles spin?
I can do that. Yeah.
All right, so for the sake of time, let's just say that works.
Okay.
I feel like we're a little roll challenged at the moment, so I'm not going to make anybody roll anymore until we get out of here. Cargo car is clearly cursed. So let's say that you find some rubber bands gifted to you by the GM, and you figure out a way to line up Thunder with the rest of the vehicle, and you tickle him in order to make him go faster. How's that?
Well, could I suggest a way that, like, it might be a bit fun as well?
Sure.
Because it is a box, and
It is.
we can say that, let's say if you imagine a box being closed and it has 2 layers, the bottom and then the top of the box, if you're thinking of, flat parts, and maybe we can have Thunder on the, like, inside of the box, and we have some kind of jury-rigged
way of him moving his own wheels to move the wheels that are down there, but he can't see, so the rest of us have to tell him like which way to turn and when.
Works for me.
Awesome.
So you find that there is a little hatch on the cargo side where it is evident that when this was a functional train and the attendees were helping people load and unload their luggage from the vehicle, that they would open up this hatch and kind of just throw luggage down the ramp in order to make for quicker onboardings and disembarkings. So you move your way over that way, open up the hatch, and you quite literally just, you throw the car down while you're inside of it, and you pick up enough momentum where it sets you on your way. So you are now out in the wilds. The car is behind you. It is luckily a clear night. Though it was damp earlier, there's a chill that has been setting into the air, and you can feel it. The ground is clear, and you are making your way what you can only assume is north. You guys actually have no sense of direction and no compass, unless somebody just happens to have a compass on them, and that's one of their things. But otherwise,
I have a GPS built in.
Yeah, okay. Otherwise, you are purely trusting instinct, which is completely fine. So is that good? You guys want to do it that way?
Yeah, let's do it.
Instinct.
I have metal joints, and I focus very hard and try to tune into the Earth's magnetic field, and it doesn't work.
Okay, thank you for that, Sal.
Bobby is using his. I'm using my electromagnetic location that I would use to notice fish around me to know which way is north.
Wait, I'm sorry. I forget if I missed this. Did you actually end up losing a second person? Second finger puppet?
No, I lost Flipper.
That's it. Okay. Just making sure.
But sharks have like electronic location that I don't think all sharks do, which I don't think Bobby is the kind of shark where he would be able to do it because he's a finger puppet.
I was gonna say, I'm like, because he's made out of yarn.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever been in water.
Nope. If they went in water, they would die probably.
Cool. So,
But you can bet it's their dream.
all right, so you're just instinctually aligning yourself what you feel is north, and good for you because that you absolutely are going north. And so you're traveling that way for a bit. The ground is pretty much level. You're moving forward. You see some sort of large object in the distance, kind of over to the left. As you're making your way further and further, the open field, it starts to kind of fill with like a mist. The visibility comes down slightly, not horribly, but it's definitely, you're getting a little nervous as you make your way through.
Now, where I'm positioned, I can't see shit.
Nope.
Right? Okay, so then I can't.
I think the Aqua-Marines shoved you under a flap or something, per what I heard Wall saying.
Yeah, so I don't. So then I cannot use my ability to see things in motion. I guess that's okay.
Nope. They completely handicapped you there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sorry. Taylor is describing the scene vividly to you as we continue.
And so all you hear is, yep, exactly, yep. So you not only can you not see anything, you are also not able to make out a single thing that Taylor says.
I'm hearing it perfectly. It sounds beautiful.
Oh, good.
You got like this South Park character.
Good. So then, as you make your way through the mist, it is becoming more and more evident that the large object that you were seeing in the distance was in fact the tops of the evergreen trees that the conductor had told you about that would be coming up on your left. So as you are continuing to drive north, you tell Thunder to start navigating left a bit so that you can head over in that direction. What does that sound like for you guys?
Who's our eyes?
Go left.
Who has eyes?
Turn to the left.
Got
Gotta go west.
It's angles his wheels to do so.
It's wonderful that you guys know what your left and right is. So you make your way over that way. You notice that it starts to get damper again, and that the ground underneath you is starting to get softer, and it's creating Thunder's working harder and harder and harder in order to try and move you forward, the momentum. But you're still making your way over, and then as you get closer to the forest, you start to actually make out the wall of stone that the conductor told you about. So this is great. You're making your way on your journey perfectly. However, you get closer to the wall, and suddenly the makeshift vehicle halts, and those of you who are in the body of the car and can see what's going on are propelled out of the vehicle into the front, where you fall into muddy ground. And Thunder's wheels get jammed up in the rubber bands, and he's stuck. and you all fall into place or out of place. What do you do?
Well, this is not the pretty look for me.
God. Guys, I'm starting to feel claustrophobic.
Hey, calm down. It'll be okay.
Used to wide open roads.
I start by dusting off my suit.
Don't worry, Thunder. We're coming in to help you.
All right, so again, for the sake of brevity and your absolutely abysmal rolling, we're just going to assume that you get in there and you're able to unwind Thunder and lift him out of the vehicle. Your vehicle is not working anymore. The rubber band snapped. It is caked with mud, and the moist air is starting to actually degrade the cardboard. It got you to where it needed to get you, but you're done. Just next to the stone walls, just past where you fell into the mud, you notice that there's actually paved ground that will be easily navigated. So you make your way over to that and you reorient yourselves, and you remember that you had to continue north along the wall, and so you do so. And luckily, the forest seems to only be to the left of the wall, and so that leaves you plenty of clear sky for the stars and the moon to continue guiding you along your way. It is getting later and later. The moon is high in the sky, and the air is getting colder as you move further north, and you almost start to see what might look like snow, and just crystallizing high up. But by the time that it hits the ground, it's still not quite sticking. Thunder, what's so funny?
Sorry, no, I'm done. It's just my dumb brain right now.
No,
it's
tell.
nothing. Because when you said the moon was high in the sky, I just pictured moon with red eyes and taking a hit. Sorry.
Nope, thank you for sharing. It's my fault for asking. I know, it's my fault for asking. All right, so you're moving forward, and what you didn't realize that now you're starting to pick up is that the reason that the ground was getting softer and softer is because it had been snowing, but it's just not quite cold enough for it to hit. So what would normally have been the white lands, for you, did not appear as such because there was no snow sticking on the ground. So you actually reach the white lands, but unbeknownst to you. So now you're walking forward, and you're realizing it's getting colder and colder, and as you keep moving, there is some sticking happening. So you're journeying for quite a bit. Nothing really is happening in particular. Sure, somebody's complaining about something. Sal's joints are getting the best of him. Misch is concerned that he's all dirty. The Aqua-Marines are completely existential and sad over losing Flipper. And Thunder's bum wheel is a little bit more bum from getting caught in the rubber bands. So you're a little worse from wear, but you're holding on. As you're making your way through, suddenly you start to realize, as the mist is clearing a little bit, it's getting colder, you see something sitting on the wall up ahead. And you're moving, and you don't think that this is really, that they're seeing you the way that you're seeing them at first, until suddenly you see them shift and jump to the ground. And it's kind of, they almost look like they're maybe like a ball or something. Like they're very round, and you can make out that there are arms and legs, but they're quite small, and you just need to get closer to see what's going on. Do you guys keep moving forward? You're intrigued? You want to stay on your path?
I'm definitely intrigued.
All right.
Yeah, let's get a little closer.
All right. So you're moving closer, and this person, before this toy, before you can really see each other clearly, starts calling out and saying, "Hey, what are you doing?
Hey,
this is my land. Get out!" And he's clearly extremely aggressive and angry before even really approaching him. But you're still moving forward. And finally, the lighting is just right, and you're close enough where you can see that he is a wooden egg in a suit. And he's got his arms from side to side, and he's a wooden egg, and you can tell that he's been around. He seems to be a little waterlogged, which wood should not be, and he's kind of got moss growing on part of his face, and he's pissed, and he's like, "Hey, get out of here!"
listen, everything's okay.
No, you listen. No, you listen.
No, listen. I want to use my bossy move that I have as a softie. I'm going to try to roll and convince him to let us just chill the fuck out right here.
All right, go ahead and try.
That is a 10 plus 1, 11.
Oh, there we
do
go.
what I want.
All right. So can you just remind me what happens with that kind of move?
If they're a GM character on a 10 plus, they're convinced they do what you want. So I just want him to chill the fuck out and let us be here.
All right, so he kind of like throws himself down on his bottom and folds his arms. Like he is not happy that you overpowered him, but he's willing to submit for now. And he's grumbling underneath his breath.
What's your name?
No.
Come on.
No.
All right, no.
It's not my name.
We're just well, that's what I'm gonna call you. We're just trying to pass on through. We're trying to find the Evergreen. You know about it?
He kind of looks at you, and his features are painted on. So while the mouth is opening and closing, nothing else is really moving around very much. He gets himself back off the ground, and he puts his fists on either side of his hips. My name is Stumpy.
Hello, Stumpy.
Stumpy Dumpy.
Hello, Stumpy.
Stumpy Dumpy.
I assume you've heard of Humpty
look like
Dumpty?
Indeed.
I'm the great-grand-nephew of Humpty Dumpty. And I don't appreciate you just coming through here like you own the place.
Oh, no, sir. You have it all confused. We're just passing through.
Yeah. They all say that they're just passing through. But I'm always watching to see if somebody's going to try to knock me off that wall. It's a family curse. It's happened to us forever.
You seem to be knocked off right now.
I got down on my own.
Can I try something as Thunder real quick? I'm gonna try friendship. Once per session, when you play a game or play fight, for example, headbutting without intending any damage with someone else, they learn something new about their own capabilities. And you create a tie.
Are you telling me you're gonna try to headbutt the soggy wood egg?
Yes, to kind of get him to calm down.
Okay, so really you're gonna try to run him over because you're a car.
I'm a tiny car, so I'm hitting his, like, fucking, I don't know, his like, shoe.
Alright. You're gonna try to headbutt him, though. So you're gonna try to get lift?
I just want him to just, like, chill.
Alright. This guy's a hard-boiled egg, so I don't know what you...
It's friendship. It's a move, so I don't know if, like... Actually...
Are you talking about make friends?
No. So it's a
friendship.
move from the Mecha playbook.
Oh, okay.
Now, but real quick though, because I don't want to I don't want to do anything that I shouldn't. Do I have like? Am I allowed to do this without actually like having like a move already?
So once per session, when you play a game, I know you just read this, but when you can't play a game or play a fight with something else, they learn something new about their own capabilities, and you create a tie with them. So what is your goal here? If your goal is to like make him chill out, I don't know if that's what this is.
Could it be like you're helping him realize like he's tougher than he thinks he is?
You could also offer a bribe.
I think the guy thinks that he's a literal egg, and he's very afraid of any threats that will crack him, like his great grand uncle Humpty.
So I got off on my own.
I think that Thunder is trying to ram him to make him think that he's actually more stable than he may assume.
All right, go ahead.
I think I used smile for this.
Doesn't say that you
God
use
damn it.
smile.
Well, doesn't
All
matter.
right.
Can
Well,
I
you
help?
just yeah, you can help.
It's
Sure.
I mean if you're gonna get rid of the +1, it would be a 5.
No. So So it doesn't say that you're rolling it plus anything.
Right.
So it's just a move. So that's a 5. So if the Aqua-Marines help, that makes it a 6.
Can others help?
I do have an idea for something to try, but I'll
But I
help.
refuse
Well, even
to
if
help
Misch
you.
helps you, that brings it to a 7.
Yeah, I'll help
However, when there's a sock move, when you help someone, treat a 7 to 9 partial success as a 10 plus.
them. Oh,
Oh shit.
there you go. So I'll
All
definitely
right.
help them.
So they just helped you hit and run the wooden egg.
Yes, but again, I'm not trying.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to hurt him.
You're just trying to make him realize that he is wooden and not an actual egg.
Yes.
All right. So you hit him.
Yeah.
And he is now sobbing and crippled on the ground.
No, wait. I know that just traumatized you, but look, you're okay. Look at you. You're stronger.
This is exactly what I was trying to avoid!
No. Look at you. Like,
My guts are going everywhere!
No, you're fine. Look at you.
He's looking to the moon and he's going, Great Grand Uncle Humpty. I'm sorry.
Hey, little man. You are perfectly fine.
Alright, well, somebody's got to convince him of that.
Alright.
He's thinking that he's seeing the light.
I want
at me,
to...
buddy.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Walsh.
Oh, nothing. Me, Bobby the Shark, was gonna do some convincing.
He literally smacks Bobby the Shark away.
Oh, look at that! You just smacked the shark! That's so tough!
Alright. I
He's too
would like
tough.
to bribe.
Okay.
And I'm going to roll to bribe Slumpy. What was it
It's
again?
Stumpy Dumpy.
Alright. I'm gonna bribe Stumpy with my sawn-off wooden Tommy gun.
God,
This sounds more like a threat than a bribe. I
yeah,
gotta
this
say.
is really aggressive. I mean, I know. I was just trying
Yeah,
to
He
help.
did hit me!
Alright, so when you
Yeah.
try to buy an unfriendly character's cooperation, you roll plus smile and give up something of value. On a 10 plus, they take an action to help you out. On a 7 to 9, they begrudgingly help you. Choose one from the following list. Alright, so roll and we'll see what happens. Alright.
10.
Alright. So they take an action to help you out.
So I offer Stumpy my wooden Tommy gun, and I tell him that this has served me very well for a number of years at getting my way, and that I can see that he is in a position where he can better use it than me, and so it's his now. But I would like to know if they know anything about the Evergreen.
He lets out a few more hysterical sobs just because he's absolutely fucking stressed, thinking that he just nearly lost his life. He takes the Tommy gun from you, uses it to lean on to get himself back up, and kind of like sniffles a few times. And he's like, alright, I'm sorry. I've sat on this wall for so goddamn long, and do you ever live your entire life looking over your shoulder? Thinking that somebody's gonna take you out? You don't understand. It's so much. And he steadies himself, and he just looks at you guys, and he's kind of like whimpering and weepy.
You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay.
Does this thing really work?
Its value is a little bit more theatrical than one would hope, but it works if you're convincing.
Great granduncle would be really, really excited by this. I gotta tell you, the guy loves his guns. Alright, yeah, just, and he's waving the gun around, to now use it as like an extension of his arm. He's pointing everywhere with it. Just keep heading. Just keep heading north. You're almost there. You'll see what you need to do. Look for the bird.
Right. The rusty bird, right?
Just don't like sneak up on anyone anymore though, because like you gotta understand it's a stressful night to begin with for us toys, and I'm sorry, but I thought I died. The bird. Go to the bird.
I was just trying to give you a little bit more confidence. You're good.
Don't test me, man! And he
Okay.
just,
I start walking away.
yeah, it's probably
Stumpy
best if you guys
Dumpy's
just go.
like a war vet.
So Stumpy Dumpy's definitely triggered by everything.
I'm so sorry for bothering you, and I hope you have an excellent night. Merry Christmas!
I love him.
Alright. So you guys are just leaving Stumpy Dumpy?
Is there an option
Yeah.
to bring him?
No! I'm just double checking that you guys are all set and that you're moving on. You can definitely just leave Stumpy Dumpy. You've armed somebody who's very, very emotionally unstable.
I don't know.
But I mean, he's luckily on a wall in the
Anthony
middle of
armed
nowhere. So Anthony arms him, and technically it's just a wooden gun. He doesn't know that yet, but it's fine.
Sure.
So just it's not a good PR move for the record. All right, so
Yeah.
the NRA would love you. But so you move. Sorry,
I hate that you're not wrong.
you can cut that out if you need to. I just felt like
Nope.
it's spicy. Walsh is like, nope, we stand by our political stances. All right, so you're moving forward, and you didn't realize it, but you'd been walking uphill for a while, and so you kind of can't really see the horizon, but you just start to come over the top, and all of a sudden the moonlight glints off of it's a weather vane. And the weather vane has a big rooster on the top of it that has very clearly been aging and exposed to the elements for some time. So you see it, and immediately somebody in your party yells out, "It's the great rust bird." I don't know who says it.
Who would have that knowledge?
I don't know.
Look at it right there. It's the great rusted bird.
I mean, you all were told to look out for that, and you have yet to come across one, and you followed the wall to the end, so
Yeah.
I think that you should all know it, but
Yeah,
somebody exclaims it. So I guess it
was me.
It was John Wayne.
I don't know if you could call that an exclamation, but it'll work.
Okay, it's fantastic.
Hello, Ruthbird.
All right, so you realize that you got to go down the hill and back up a small one, but what you see as you keep moving forward what's coming into view as you make your way back down that hill is a large barn that looks to be made out of some sort of metal, and it's in the middle of these cornfields that have just completely overgrown and are just wild and teeming with nature, but deeply covered in feet of snow. And you realize everything is snow. Everything has been covered. You are definitely north. And as you make your way further and further towards the barn, the snow is getting deeper, and you realize that you're making your own tracks through the snow. Now, who is first? Who is leading the group toward the barn?
Probably Misch.
Yeah, I agree with that, if everybody else is cool with that.
Yeah. That
Okay,
makes sense.
The
because
Aqua-Marines are
Misch, Misch is thick AF, and
Yeah, I can help protect against the wind.
exactly. So you are also digging a steady path for everyone as they are trying to make their way through. So you're making your way further and further towards the barn, and you get to just outside of the cornfields, and you realize that it is like thick, matted field, and you need to figure out how to get closer to the barn. When you start to hear what sounds almost like whispering and snickering, and you realize that there are things in the fields there. So,
Oh, sorry, that's the Aqua-Marines. They're having a very dramatic scene in the back where Seabiscuit's like, "No, go on without me," and they're like, "We're not leaving without you. Come on."
And so you're hearing the voices, and all of a sudden you hear what sounds like a vroom, vroom sound, and what looks like light peeking in and out of the overgrown cornfields. And all of a sudden, like dramatically, as if you're watching a racing film, flying out from the cornfields and in your general direction is a bright pink ride-in Jeep. Soars over you, and you're all like cinematically instead of like, whoa, as it goes over you and lands behind you and does like a wheelie and comes back around. And the car is named Pinky, and Pinky's got headlights for eyes, the mouth is her grill, and she honks at you and is like, "Hey, who are you?"
Thunder says to her, it's just like, I'm Thunder, and this is my friends. And Thunder is just trying to like look as strong as possible in front of
A
this
master
giant-
class in centering himself.
Yeah.
You look at her and you're like, "Oh, big pink mama."
My name's Stumpy. I'm from the wall.
I know Stumpy, and you're not Stumpy.
Damn it.
What's your real name?
Sal.
All right, well, Sal, it's nice to meet you.
We are all the Aqua-Marines.
You're very cute.
Thank you.
I'm Misch. We're looking for the Evergreen. You know anything about it?
So Pinky just kind of like stares, blinks a little bit, and doesn't really say anything. And she's like, "Well, I'm sorry to say that you've not found the Evergreen. As far as I know, that's just a legend. But if you'd like, you're not going to be able to walk through the cornfield all by your own. I'll give you a ride in. I'm assuming you're here to go to the barn."
I don't know where else we would be going.
"Well, then get on in."
I get in.
Oh,
I get in.
alright. I think I could just tail behind, you know. I'll be able to keep up.
I get back out of the Jeep and then pick Thunder
No.
up, and then bring
No.
Thunder with me into
No.
All right, so is everybody in?
Did you know that the blue whale's call is the loudest of any animal on Earth?
I don't know. I don't know how so it's go ahead.
Yeah, we're in the Jeep.
No, are they speaking to Pinky?
Yeah, we're in the Jeep. Yeah, they're in the
Okay.
Jeep.
That
We're
is
hopping
the
in.
coolest thing I ever heard. What else do you know? And she's making her way through. She's very friendly, and she likes to hear all this information. And she's making her way through the cornfield. Go ahead.
No, all I was gonna say that Thunder is like in Sal's arms right now, but like he's doing the best that he can with the way that he is like shaped to like look as grumpy as possible. Like I think he's trying to like cross his wheels, but he can't do it.
Like almost like he's crossing his arms.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's his windshield wipers just kind of cross. Cross his windshield. That's that.
Yes, yeah, there you go, perfect.
And his headlights just have a little bit of an angry eyelid on them.
Yeah, perfect.
I don't know if this is gonna do anything. Can I use a hold to establish a minor fact about someone you just met?
Absolutely. I think you just use it and you just consume it. You just take it off your sheet.
Yeah. I have no idea what thing I want to do though. What do you guys think? A minor fact about Pinky.
About Pinky?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to figure out if we could trust her.
Maybe the minor fact is that they're also from the Jeff X, the old train.
The ZFX? Sure, that's fine. So where are you guys coming from?
We're coming from the Jeff X.
You really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, tell me something. Is the conductor still kicking?
Yeah. He was still there. Kind of dramatic.
Yeah, well, he lost his wife some years ago, and it's never really been the same for him since, but I heard that he was a good leader, even if we didn't see him very much. I haven't been at the ZFX in so many years. I actually came out here looking for I was on my own adventure, and I got to the barn and I just never left.
Oh, shit.
So she's still driving you through, and she actually like pulls over a few times because she sees what looks like a toy, kind of that she's never really seen before in the cornfield, and sees that it's moving around in a way that almost looks like it's trying to wake up. And so she pulls over once or twice and asks you guys to throw the toys in to the back of the truck. And she's like, I do patrol around here, and I scout out the fields, and I go into the wilds in the barn, and I just make sure that all the toys that are waking up are accounted for. And it's really, it's good work, but it can be lonely sometimes. So I'm real glad you guys came around. And so she's bringing you over, and you end up at the front of the barn. And just as she pulls up, the doors open. They slide to the side of the barn, almost like automatic. But as they open up fully, you can see that there are toys on the inside, and mostly all softies. And they're pulling it open, and they're like, "Hey, Pinky!" And they're calling her, and she's like, "Hey, boys," and whatever. And she comes in, and she enters the barn. And as you enter, you see that there's like open panels in the top of the barn. It's decayed slightly and it has openings, but it is just piles and piles and piles of toys. They're not awake. There are some toys awake moving around. There's actually quite a few, but there are definitely just like mountains of non-awake toys or semi-awake toys just kind of piled everywhere. And so she pulls in, she goes, "All right, this is where you get out. Feel free to just, hang out. There's not much to do here, but we get along all pretty good." And so you guys get out, and she drives around, and she calls out to somebody who then comes over and starts unloading the toys, and they place them in one of the nearby piles. And everything so far, everybody's very friendly. There doesn't seem to be anything in particular going on. And she calls out to somebody, and she goes, Agnes, I got some more for you." And just as she's saying that, all of a sudden around one of the piles comes a rabbit, a softy rabbit, who is one leg appears to be replaced by a stiff plastic leg of a horse. And she has what looks like a nibble or a tear out of one of her ears. And she comes walking over and kind of like swinging the horse leg. And she comes up, she goes, "Hey, honey." And she's talking to Misch, Misch specifically.
Hello.
How you doing?
Doing just fine. How are you?
Great. Would you mind giving me your name? I just like to keep track of everyone who comes to the barn.
You can call me Misch.
Thank you, Misch. And she turns to Sal. How about you, sweetheart?
My name's Stumpy.
I know, Stumpy. You're not Stumpy.
Alright, I'm Sal.
All right, Sal. Thank you very much, honey. How about you, little cute thing? And she points to Thunder.
Thunder.
Thunder, big name.
Yep.
All right.
You sure?
All right,
You sure you don't know me? Yeah.
You know, you look maybe a little familiar, but I've seen a lot of cars come through here.
Oh. Okay.
All right. How about you lot?
Well, we're the Aqua-Marines. Yeah, the Aqua-Marines.
That's very nice, but I'd like to get each of your names anyway. You know, just because you're part of a group doesn't mean that you're not all important.
I like this individual. My name is Oswald Henry Paul. My name is Bobby. My name is Seabiscuit, and this is Taylor. Mm-hmm.
It was like saying Bobby with that kind of enthusiasm took Walsh's brain cells for a second.
It did. It 100% did.
Bobby! And then just like a moment of
I feel like this is
silence.
I don't know why, but now like with Taylor existence, I feel like this is like the South Park kids.
Right.
Sky said that earlier.
I did
Yeah,
say
Taylor
that
is Kenny.
Oh, I didn't hear her say that.
All right, honeys. Well, I'm Agnes Bullpenny, and we welcome you to the Tin Barn. For the most part, we're just kind of here. There's mostly just junk. We also have a lot of toys that are here in the fields that you came in with Taylor. They're toys that are constantly making their way to the top, waking up. It's just kind of a cycle of toys coming to wake here. So we do our best to make sure everybody gets off on the right foot, and then we send them on their way. So you're welcome to stay, to take some refuge. I don't know where you're going on your journey, if you were specifically coming here, but the only thing I'm going to need you to do is I need you to make your way over to meet the corporal, just to make sure all's good. So if you follow me, we're going to bring you over to Corporal Poupée.
God.
All right. And follow me. And so she leads you in and out. She kind of serpentines through the piles. And out of the corner of your eye, you kind of see like a softie that seems to be taking a particular interest in you guys. But they're kind of staying in the shadows, definitely like not off-putting, but kind of shy. And you just kind of catch that there's a tail, and you see like a glowing green dot attached to them somewhere, somehow. But they're moving too quickly and too elusively to really get an eye on them.
Is there a way to do like a read a bad situation or
Nope.
Okay.
Not to my knowledge. I don't think that anybody has that kind of thing.
Okay.
But I'm winding down so that we're not too far gone. So I can tell you that just trust me. Okay?
Sure.
Trust the game, mama. Thank you.
Yeah.
So Agnes brings you around and she goes, Corporal? And he, before even turning around, he goes, what is it, Sentry? And she goes, I got a new group just came in. They, where'd you guys say you were from?
From the,
Zephex.
Ah, they're from the Zephyr Express.
I slipped in to hold them for a second.
That's okay. They're from the Zephyr Express. We haven't had the last group that came through was with Pinky, wasn't it? Yeah, I believe so. And he turns around, and it is a mecha in the shape of a Canadian Mountie, and he is a moose.
Yes.
He is a moose that is dressed as a Canadian Mountie. His name is Corporal Poupée. It's Poupee. But there are some people who disagree with his leadership, and they refer to him as Corporal Poopy.
I was
Underneath
gonna
his
do
breath.
that joke.
And you will hear whispers of this as you move around the barn. Nobody in particular says it very loudly. It is not that he is a bad man. He is simply well respected, but not very loved. And so Corporal Poupée approaches you and says, "What brings you around here?"
We're looking for the Evergreen.
And he kind of just smirks to himself and makes a little note in his book. And he's like, sorry, folks. We get hordes of toys that come through here looking for this, what did you say, Evergreen? And I always run into the issue of having to disappoint them when they come through. I've heard of the rumor of the legend of the Evergreen, and I can't personally say that I've ever seen it. And we are really the most north you can go. I have to send a message down to the conductor and really ask him to stop sending people this way because we're running out of room for those who come through.
To be fair, he did discourage us.
Oh, well, that's good to hear. All right, I won't send too harsh of a message down that way then. So what made you come anyway?
Curiosity?
Yes, really a sense of curiosity.
Not much else to do.
Not much else to do. It's Christmas Eve. Don't you have families, friends, places to be, gifts to deliver?
My only family is my friends.
Okay. All right, well, like I said, folks, I'm sorry to disappoint. I have no information about any sort of Evergreen. As far as I'm aware, we are the last building north in this area. You're welcome to hold up in any of the corners of the barn where you'll find a fire and maybe some food, but there's really nothing more that I can offer you. I'm sorry.
I mean, we also could just continue trekking north.
You're welcome to, but I wouldn't advise it. It's quite late. You're welcome to try again in the morning, but the further you go, the deeper the snow, and we don't have a lot of spare mecha parts to offer up for vehicles. So, like I said, stay the night, reassess, see what you want to do in the morning. You're welcome to stop by and speak to anybody at any time. And with that, he kind of nods and moves away. And Agnes has also seemed to kind of just go on her way. She seems to be cataloging and assessing the different piles and handing out papers to different animals, and she walks past you and sees that Sal seems to be taking an interest in whatever she's drawing, and she kind of looks at him and she goes, I keep a catalog of all the toys that wake up. It's nice to know that everybody gets a beginning, even if we're not really sure of what that is. So I make sure I give everybody a little picture of themselves and a bit of information of where they start. I kind of think of it as like a birth certificate of sorts, and then we put them on their way. And she keeps moving. She doesn't have time for conversation. You see that Pinky's back out, kind of driving through the fields, and she has somebody helping her load up animals. But as you all kind of turn, largely disappointed because you've spent so much time getting to this point, you see again what looks like something moving in the background. And somebody coming around the corner. And then all of a sudden, Sal feels somebody tug lightly on his string. And he turns around and he's met face to face with a single green button eye. And he startles, and so does this softie. And the softie runs behind a pile. And Sal, what do you do?
Guys, I think something was trying to get our attention.
Hello?
It ran over there.
Should we go look?
I mean, it's something.
Am I still in your arms, by the way?
I assume he's been carrying
Okay,
you.
Cool. Just double checking.
I take this opportunity to set Thunder down and give him a little pat on the roof.
Okay. Thanks.
And then I also with my hand still on the roof, just push him forward and back and go make little vroom vroom noises.
Okay. This is.
All right, sorry.
I'm not. It's been a bit. It's a little sad. It's a little sad. Just for me. It's been a while since I've gone vroom vroom.
So you go and you look around the pile where you see that it tucked itself away. Correct.
Correct.
Okay. So as you're moving around and you go to walk towards it, all of a sudden a little plastic spring rolls in front of you. And you kind of look at it and you're like, what is that? They already said that they're really low on mecha parts. There doesn't seem to be anybody else around in this area, but you hear a little bit of movement. And as you come around the corner, standing there is a softie who's a little bit on the larger side. He is thick and well stuffed. He is a cat. He is brown with black stripes. He has a very, very long tail, a pink nose, a single green right eye, and he's got a little bit of fluff coming out of his left ear and a little bit of fluff coming out of where his hip would be on his right side. And he's just standing there staring at you.
Aw.
And his left side of his face is a little flat, and it's clear that he once had a button. He's missing a few whiskers from that side, but he's otherwise fairly well put together other than a little bit of fluff missing here and there. And he's just staring at you and not moving, not blinking, just staring. Frozen. What do you do?
I pick up the spring, and then I wave it around, and then I throw it. but just a short distance.
He bolts. He absolutely takes off and he grabs it and he loops it around the little inside thread of where his mouth is and comes running back over holding it in his mouth and staring at you. And he drops it and he says, "Hi."
Hello.
"Hi. I heard you say something about the Evergreen?"
Yes. What is your name, by chance?
"Barnaby."
Aw.
Well, hello, Barnaby. I see you've taken refuge in this barn, as everyone else has. We were scouting ahead up north and wondering if we could possibly... Well, now it seems a bit silly, but find the Evergreen.
Barnaby kind of looks around the mound, looks to see where the corporal, where Agnes, where Pinky are, and then looks back at you and he says, "I'm at the barn now, but I wasn't born here. I don't remember where it came from, but I like to explore. Sometimes my friend Peter and I like to play in the forest, and I can take you to the Evergreen."
Oh.
You know where it is?
Wow.
"Mm-hmm.
And you know Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Next time you see him, tell him I said hey.
What's your name?"
I'm Misch.
"Okay, Misch, I'll tell Peter."
Thunder is like super excited. He's just like, all right, let's go. And he zooms past Barnaby almost as if to like to indicate like he wants Barnaby to chase after him.
And so Barnaby has like fire reflexes and just like completely puts his paw on the top of your car before you can even get past him.
Oh.
And then he just kind of like lightly scoots you back in line.
Yeah.
And then just stares at you for a second. And then when you look where Barnaby was, you happen to see that it appears that he's hoarding, in a small capacity, a couple little springs, some bolts, some screws, crumpled up paper, almost looks like newspaper, which you've not really seen before. There's not really a lot of like newspaper and magazines around anymore. They're far and few between, but he seems to have a nice collection. A couple of little crinkly things, some balls, typical of a cat. It's kind of remarkable that this stuffed cat, who would have probably not had much exposure to actual cat behavior, seems to be falling in line with it. So he says, "Follow me." And you notice that there's like a little bit of a sliver in his area of the barn in where the wall broke away, and he slips out, and you slip out with him, and the barn is massive. So you realize that back end of that barn actually borders the same forest that you had been walking around earlier, just the other side of it. And he has you follow him. Luckily, it's an area where, because of the tree cover, there's not a lot of deep snow, so you're able to navigate very well. And it's cold enough that the ground is frozen, so you don't have to worry about mud. And as you're making your way through, you realize that there's a little bit of like a tunnel almost that appears to have been left behind by some building had broken down, where there is pipe infrastructure that has withstood the times, but the building around it has kind of broken down. And Barnaby asks you to come through the tunnel with him. Is everybody comfortable with doing so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you know?
So outside the mouth of the...
Did you know? Did you know that? Just a Barnaby. Did you know that catfish that can live up to 60 years?
Yes, I did know that.
Whoa, this guy's an expert.
So you see outside the tunnel that, again, there's like little bits and pieces of clearly things that Barnaby has collected in his travels. And as you move through the tunnel gets wider and wider and wider, and you start to realize that it's kind of homey. There are like little pockets of toys and things that Barnaby has collected. You find more and more papers, and you start to realize that the walls actually have paper on them as well. Almost like somebody has come in here and made themselves a little nest, and you can only assume that was Barnaby. And you start to realize that the paper on the wall is actually newspaper. And as you move through, Thunder, you're ahead because you scooted in front and you're very excited for everything. All of a sudden, everybody realizes that Thunder has stopped in place and he's looking at the newspaper. And as you guys are coming up around him, you look and you see Thunder on the newspaper. And there's a headline that says, "Thunder wins 3rd Grand Prix." And when you look closer, it is very clear that Thunder was a famous race car, and that Thunder is the Matchbox model of a once famous race car from the before times. And this has validated Thunder in a way that he's been searching his entire life up to this point. And he stands there and he takes it in, and Barnaby looks at it and he peels it off the wall and folds it and tucks it underneath the little windshield on the front of the Matchbox car and says that he can have it.
I'm gonna cry.
And
thanks. I think Thunder's just taken very much aback because this is a huge discovery for him that he did not know about. He knew that he himself was a big deal, but he just didn't remember any of that.
Mm-hmm. Well, you wouldn't have, because it's nothing that you would have sentiently known.
Sure.
And so then you continue moving through the tunnels, and then all of a sudden something catches Sal's eye, and Sal stops and he looks, and it's another article. But this time, to his likeness, there's a gentleman behind bars.
Oh no.
And the article says, Salvatore Chicken Parm Rizzoli confesses everything and is jailed for the rest of his life. And then a second article, directly underneath it, says Sal Chicken Parm Rizzoli escapes. And that's the end of the articles. And Sal realizes that he is actually a doll based off of a real mafioso that had been once jailed and once escaped, and nobody really knows whatever happened to him.
I've been telling them this whole time! And Sal spins on his heels and points his finger at the party. I ain't going back!
And so you're moving more and more towards the end of the tunnels, and just before you're out, you see a magazine that has been very clearly loved to death by Barnaby. He's probably used it as a bed, as a toy, as a place to store his fun little things. And you see on the top of it that it says something about a local amusement park or a carnival or something to that nature. And as you're thumbing through, as you're moving through, the pages get shuffled around and a page falls out that shows a balloon popping stall at the carnival where you throw the darts and pop the balloons, and there's families enjoying themselves and laughing. And then on the shelf of toys, you see a stuffed beluga, a gorilla, there's a wolf, a tiger, a couple of different kinds of birds, all sitting on the shelf, and all that have a likeness that match Misch. And so it is put together that this is where, or Misch, sorry, I did the niche thing to you. And this is very clearly where Misch was born of. We don't know if it's this particular carnival, if it was all of them, but it gives Misch an origin story that still needs to be explained because you're not any one of these, you're all of them, and that's a little confusing for everyone, but stood out as being something that another piece of material from the before times that kind of gives you some story to yourself. And then you make it your way out of the tunnel, and you come out into a clearing inside the forest, inside of the large evergreen trees, where there are a few stone buildings and a fire pit in the middle that's empty. There's nothing going on, and it is dead quiet. And you're looking at this Barnaby guy, and you're like, what's going on? Like, why are we here? And he's like, here you go.
Thank you.
So what's happening here?
And so Barnaby just kind of like slowly turns his head and stares at you.
Oh boy.
Just stares and stares and stares. And then suddenly he whips his head to the side like he hears something, and he runs behind the largest stone building. Just leaves you. And they're kind of like in a circle. It's almost like they're almost like at attention, and almost like they're a community with a center, and they're all facing the center, all the buildings. And so Barnaby goes around, and he's gone for a little bit, and you guys are just standing there. So what do?
Well, this is not as exciting as I thought it would be. The origin story was cool, but
that was absolutely incredibly cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad Flipper got a autograph. They did.
Yeah, I could keep giving you guys autographs if you want.
Maybe later.
I definitely want one.
And so just as you're all kind of talking amongst yourselves, like what is going on, Barnaby starts to reappear from out behind the large structure, and with him he has a very, very old Inuit doll who's made from soapstone and fur and is quite immaculate, but very clearly aged. Even her face looks old. And she's following him, and he's bringing her out to the middle. And there is what you now realize is that around the fire are what look like little stones and pebbles that have been placed over time. And over time, there's been green that has just completely taken over them, almost like a thick moss from the moisture, but a moss that is surviving the cold. And it is dark, and it is beautiful green, and it just softly covers all of the buildings and all of the pebbles, not so that you can't see that they're made out of stone, but that it's very well covered. And she takes a seat, and then one by one, out from behind the other buildings are all of these old dolls. More dolls come out from behind old structures. They are from before a time that most toys do not even remembered. They are clearly hand-fashioned by communities and people and villages for their young. These toys never saw the inside of a factory or a big commercial store. They were kept within their own communities. There's a mysticism about them that's palpable but not quite clear. And as they continue to come out, they gather around and they invite you all to come and sit with them. And the last toys to come out is there's one building where a single starfish finger puppet comes out from behind one of the buildings, and it appears very, very loved, very handcrafted, and very old-fashioned. And then the next one after that is a Matryoshka doll who comes out. It appears to be one of the, not the largest outside Matryoshka doll, but one of the inner parts, but not quite the tiny little one. And she comes out and she sits, and she nods and waits for you all to sit down, and she goes, "You have found the Evergreen. We are the matriarch of toys. We were the first to wake, and we have witnessed and collected the history of toys from the first awakenings. We can offer you knowledge and stories and comfort, but nothing else. If there is anything you would like to know, you may ask. You may sit by our fire, and you may rest. You may not stay long, but you may stay as long as you need."
This is not what I was expecting, given all that Peter was talking about.
But this is amazing.
Oh, yes.
And as you sit, Barnaby fashions a fire in the middle of them all, and it glows and hits off of all of these dolls that, as I said, they've never been a part of the commercialism and the mass manufacturing of toys, but they were like the original toys that were made from love and given with love.
Sal asks if there's a way for puppets like him to be separated from their strings and control rods.
All of the elders look at each other and nod amongst themselves. They don't really speak, but they look at you and they say, "We do not know if there is something that can separate, but what is physical is so small compared to the spirit inside. You must not let your boundaries detain you, and you can be full even as you are."
Sal nods his head and just reflects on that for a while.
I do have a question.
Yes, you may. You may ask anything you need.
What the hell am I?
You are you. We cannot define you, even if we tried.
That is a hard task. I do not blame you.
But you are worth so much as you are.
I have a pretty healthy amount of self-respect, but I appreciate the words and it regardless.
I mean, I guess for me, I'm just, trying to see if I can keep people's attention, I guess. I didn't really think of too much about my size until this adventure, I gotta say.
Well, you are grand for what you come from. Size does not matter. And who needs size to get through when you have such great friends? For you wanted fans all this time. And what greater fans than are our friends?
That's good. That's fucking good.
Thunder, I think, takes that in and is I think that he's out of tears to shed from this adventure. I think that he just kind of was standing proudly, like trying to like get a little height on people, I guess. But then I think he kind of like just settles down, but still kind of proudly presenting being who he is.
The starfish finger puppet steps forward and motions to Barnaby. And Barnaby comes over, and just to make sure that everybody can see the starfish, Barnaby picks up the puppet and slips it over his paw. And then takes the starfish's seat and just holds his paw up so it can speak. And the starfish commands the room and says, "Before you leave, you have made it farther than most and therefore deserve a bit more. The Evergreen is a place, yes, but it is also a feeling, a sensation, a memory. The Evergreen exists a bit in all of us, and for most in different ways, but for many manufactured toys, you are removed from it. You are born of machines and not of the heart. You were forged and traded hastily, not crafted and given with love. The Evergreen is tradition and spirit. It is community and love and giving. It is the heart of the giving season of Christmas, and it was known once before, but the end of the human times was brought on by the absence of Evergreen. The world was no longer about giving, but taking. Life and resources were drained from the world, and they are gone forever. That is why we are here now. In this place as we are, we have pieced this memory together based off of the papers that we have found and collected over time, most of which Barnaby has helped us collect. They were mildewed and green from age, but we keep them in the stone and protect them from scavengers. And we piece together this history so that we may know what came before and avoid the end of times that the humans brought upon themselves. We are the keepers of the Evergreen files. We preserve the history of our beginnings, which many toys do not know. And we ask that you please do not share with too many others, for they will come looking and may hurt our preservation efforts. Take this knowledge with peace and enjoy your time in our world." And Barnaby slips the starfish off of his paw and places it back on the seat and runs and sits behind one of the buildings. but like just leans out just enough so that the eye is watching you from afar.
Yeah.
I cannot speak for everyone, but this does seem like a special place, and I would hate for the magic to be gone.
I agree as well. I thank you all for allowing us to enter this very, very special and sacred place, and to be able to be among all of you. This is something that I never thought I'd ever see, and it has changed my perspective more than I ever thought it could.
I have a lot of stuff to think about, but the one thing I know is that the world is much bigger than I thought it was in that train car.
The elders nod in agreement and look at each other, and they continue to offer you shelter and food and anything else that you might need. They send Barnaby to the barn to get a vehicle for you to return home with. They offer you anything that they know about the world and maps for you to go wherever you may want. The starfish, as all this, chatting and harmony is going on, the starfish makes her way over to the other Aqua-Marines and strikes up the conversation and just discussing what she knows, what they know. They trade a lot of sea life facts among them. Turns out. Go ahead. Offer us.
The starfish comes up to the group, and there's this awkward moment of silence, and then the starfish is like, "Did you know that starfish digest their food by expelling their stomach onto their prey and eating them from the inside out?" And then Bobby hugs the starfish. "I did know that! I did know that!"
So, after some conversation, the starfish asserts the fact that she is an elder and she cannot leave. but let's say that she speaks to Taylor specifically, because Taylor is like the leader, the official leader, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And she provides Taylor with some information of an orca finger puppet that she met a few years ago, that she knows that he made his way all the way to the Evergreen and decided that he could not stay, but made his way over to another area, and she provides you with the maps needed to find him, because he had been separated from his crew long ago. At the time, there were only 5 of them. They had separated from the original 5, and they were able to piece together that he was a part of a set of 10 finger puppets that had been used in an educational program at an aquarium in the before times. And so he was singularly alone, but was still looking for a family to rejoin. So she sets you in that direction. His name was Freeman.
Taylor nods and hugs them.
Very nice. They outfit you with everything you need to make the journey back home, and you're set up to go to your next adventure, whether that be back to the ZFX or to your next destination.
I mean, I'm trying to think. I don't even know.
I don't know where we would go.
Yeah, I feel like I want to just drive around the world and just take it all in, meet people on the way.
The Aqua-Marines want to approach and talk to the group.
Sure.
And it's going to be Oswald Henry Paul who steps forward. Friends, it appears that we have heard word of a finger puppet much like ourselves, who has been missing from a larger group and might be needing a home. And if I have seen anything here today, it is that while we may be toys and we may be things from a time long ago, we are in the time that we are in now, and the way that we get through times like these, times when toys like us were so important, is by surrounding ourselves by those we care about and that we enjoy in our company. And I am worried that this puppet like ourselves might not have that family and that comfort. So, Taylor has let us know and will lead us to see this other finger puppet and hopefully reunite. While we do not have to leave immediately, and I would love to enjoy the festivities, I would be more than happy to be able to call you my comrades as we explore this new and most likely dangerous edge of the world.
The Matryoshka doll hears you use the word comrade and starts peeking around.
I would love that. I don't know why I thought to kind of like escape from this, but they're kind of believe they're right where they say it's. I think the best fans you have are your friends, so I want to stick by that.
You know what? I haven't heard nearly enough ocean facts yet. Count me in.
Hey, little shark man, can you tell me anything about beluga whales?
Yeah? Beluga whales? Beluga whales. Fun.
I feel like we trail off there.
Did you know that beluga whales?
And it's and there's like a camera just pans out, and you see all the love and warmth around them, and you just hear Bobby. And then little jingle bells come in.
But Bobby, say, are you, Bobby, get the food out of your mouth. Say an actual fact. Oh, sorry.
Right, and that's that.
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, everyone!
Woo!
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays. please.
Everybody give Kelcie a very big thank you. That was
Hell yeah.
fan-fucking-tastic.
That was
Yeah, that was
amazing. Thank
so
you, Kelcie.
good, Kels. That
Okay.
was so good.
I don't believe
It's
any of you, but
beautiful
okay.
and wholesome and happy.
I literally was sobbing.
Oh.
And I couldn't speak for a period
You
of time.
were?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes. Literally, well, the moment you brought the Thunder newspaper thing brought me to my knees. and that's why I was trying to be like, I was literally Thunder in that moment where I was just trying to play it cool. Like, I was like, all right.
Wow, you did a very good job, because I didn't know that I broke you, but that was the plan, so good.
I was not expecting something so wholesome.
It was very fulfilling.
Yeah.